Hopefully you are warm and dry, staying out of whatever the weather is out there on a Friday morning, January 21st, divisional playoff weekend. Welcoming back Patrick Perrette as he joins me this morning. Bill Gunner here. It is the early game on 107.5 The Game. And if you give us a shout this morning, you will get to speak with Terry Ford at Master Control. So we are back up and running this morning after I did just a phenomenal show yesterday, Patrick, Captain Dave and I'm not going to lie. Some people were saying it's the best show ever. They were calling in. Best show ever. But now,
yeah.
Now
I was getting texts saying not coming back.
Yeah. You sound good. You sound delicious. You sound fantastic over there. How you feeling, buddy?
I feel okay. The voice is not fully back yet, though. It's going to be a little bit raspy today, but I have soup. I have baked potato soup, and I got a 200 pack of cough drops. So by the end of this thing, my voice will be better.
The 200.
I don't know if there is a limit on cough drops in one day. I don't know if there's actually a legal limit. Is there any point where you're advised to stop?
No, I think you can just cough drop it up through the day. I think it's just one after the other. They're kind of like the butterscotch drops that we used to eat as kids. I think you can just. I think in the calorie. What's the calorie content on a cough
10
drop?
10 calories per drop.
Oh, you're in good shape. 2,000 calories in a day after 10 cough drops. I think you're going to be pretty good. I mean, I'd get some exercise in there. That's a lot, especially the baked potato soup. Yeah, the baked potato soup I think is roughly 560 calories, maybe 420, depending on the size of the cup there.
400.
400. Nutritional value is important to us here. As you are about to learn in the next hour and a half, we take our nutrition on this program extremely serious. We had a donut issue last night. I went to the grocery store because everybody goes to the grocery store when it's about to snow and they buy milk and bread because around here apparently French toast is a completely southern thing that we all make when it snows. But I totally forgot to buy donuts, and I will openly admit that I was last night was the first night. My weeks right now are tied up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with sporting events for my son, with soccer practice and with basketball practice. So Thursday's the first chance I get to come home and relax. And as I've gotten older, Patrick, and this may happen to you, Terry, I don't know if you fall into this category just yet, but on Thursdays, especially during January and February and March, when I can come home and sit down and watch golf, and I'm not like glued to the TV where I'm like every shot is hit and I'm completely like just cheering and yelling and screaming. Masters maybe a little bit, but not so much for the American Express Open yesterday. But it's nice to come home and relax. And I decided, not really in the mood to go back out and get donuts. How important is this paying off of the bet to Patrick, eating the donut with mayonnaise on it? How important is that? And then I remember Patrick's not really pleased with me because he says I haven't paid off a lot of bets in the past, so I better acquire donuts. So we door dashed Dunkin' Donuts into the house last night because I was not going to leave the house. It was nasty out. I didn't want to leave. Well, then it got questionable because of the weather and because Dunkin' Donuts, the DoorDash had closed. So another order of Krispy Kreme was made. So in front of me over on my counter is we have eaten some donuts. We ate donuts for dinner last night. That was the dinner. That's what happens when you get to be 39 years old. You can eat donuts for dinner, Patrick. Although you may already be doing that because you're eating cough drops and baked potato soup for breakfast, which is an interesting combo. But I've got a lot of donuts in front of me from which to choose to slather some Duke's mayo on here at about 7:30 this morning.
I think you just go glazed.
You know what? We're to the point now. The question is it glazed Dunkin' or is it glazed Krispy Kreme?
Well, I think we're in Krispy Kreme country here, so I think you go glazed Krispy Kreme. Although there is a case to be made if you had a fully chocolate one that mayo would pair best with chocolate.
Thought about that.
There could be a case to be made there.
Thought about that last night.
Nothing stuffed. Absolutely nothing stuffed. You don't want mayo and Boston cream or anything like that. You definitely don't want that.
No, we're not going to go down that path. So yeah, that'll be the 7:30 portion of the show. You can join us this morning if you would like. A lot of NFL talk is we'll get Patrick's take again. Just a fun weekend of NFL divisional round playoffs, and I'm excited about it. I don't know if I consider myself an NFL guy, Patrick. If I go out of my way to check out a lot of NFL games, but you've got just very good, very interesting, entertaining games coming up. And we will catch up with Brian Edwards, who has actually already sent in his games. He's even sent in a basketball game. He's really on top of it this morning. So he'll join us at 8:20 this morning to give us the breakdown of the divisional playoff games this weekend from the Vegas Insider perspective. We will break down a bunch of them prior to that. 8:05 this morning, Chris Deering will join us for the Corley Pool High School headlines of the week. We'll catch up with him. Some good high school basketball taking place. Some of it taking place last night with games being moved around because of inclement weather tonight. So plenty to get into. And of course, on the live stream, if you want to go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, and look, find, subscribe is the key word there to our lovely little Buford Lending live stream. Lee up this morning, Jerry up. I know other people will be in as we roll along on a Friday morning. That's how you can go and watch. Which why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to go watch a 39-year-old grown man eat a donut covered in mayonnaise? I mean, there's something to really get your Friday morning going. But that's how you can go and do that. I'll do that off air. And Lee says I should use Miracle Whip on a donut. We're not going to go down that path just yet, Lee. But
please don't start that.
Yeah, so we're all grumpy here at 6:09 on a Friday morning. But that's okay. Donuts and coffee.
I actually have something to bring up that I'm grumpy about right now.
Oh, well,
it will kind of open the door for conversation. I started Ozark, right?
You did start Ozark, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on season 3, episode 6, so I'm 4 episodes away from being caught up.
So what happens when you get sick? You were when people get sick, they just binge watch. So all right, so you motored through. When we last talked to you on Wednesday, you were 3 episodes in, I think.
Yeah.
And 48 hours later, you're 3 seasons in and a couple other episodes. So you've made good use of being sick. All right. What's grinding your gears this morning?
I'm 4 episodes from being caught up. And everyone's all excited because season 4 comes out today. So I was fired up. I was like, all right, by the weekend, I will knock out the rest of this season and get started on season 4 before football starts. And while I was driving home, getting ready for the show, I was listening to a podcast, and they just happened to mention what's going on in the world. They say, oh, Ozark season 4 comes out today. And somebody said, they were just thinking out loud and said, oh, how'd the last one end? And I was trying to find the fast forward button, and they said, I remember, they killed blank.
Oh no.
And I just sunk into my seat, and I was just devastated. I'm 3 hours from finding this out, and now the whole end of the season is ruined. And someone was in on our comments on the live stream yesterday talking about how the end of season 3 is the craziest ending ever, and the ending of season 1, which we talked about on live stream, doesn't even hold a finger to it, and it's devastating. And I don't know, do I have the right to be mad at them, or has it been out long enough that, if you haven't seen it, then it's your problem? I feel like the last season has only been out for a year, and it's not like spoiling Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Where do you draw the line?
What's the statute of limitations on spoilers? Yeah,
in the world we live in today, I gotta admit, it's probably 6 weeks, buddy. It's probably 6 weeks, man. These shows, they get released because all episodes will be available of Ozark today, right? For season 4.
No, it comes out in 2 parts.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right. They're doing 7 and 7, right? They're doing 7 today.
I guess so. Yeah, I think
so. It might be 7. It might be 5 and 5. I'm not sure, but I gotta tell you, buddy. I think the way it works now is that you get like 6 weeks. If you can't binge it in 6 weeks, you're open. You're open game.
Spoil it right now.
Well, you haven't seen it, so do you? I mean, I guess you could say, it would be wrong. It would be. Well, I don't
agree.
It's way.
If you wouldn't do it. If you wouldn't do it, then it's wrong.
I think there is a you have to give a disclaimer. Hey, we're about to discuss this, and we've done that on this program. We do a good job of keeping, keeping people from listening, I guess, because we'll tell them, hey, we're about to discuss this. You get 10 seconds, turn the channel, come back here in 2 minutes. We'll be done discussing it, and you want to have learned anything you didn't want to learn just yet. So yeah, maybe putting out a disclaimer is the way to go with that.
March of 2020 was when the last season came out.
Well, now that you're saying it's so crazy, I'm going to feel like I need to, because I am familiar with the characters and with the plot line, and I have watched a season and about 3 episodes, so I am familiar with what's going on there. And now you're saying that the end of season 3 is maybe one of the craziest season endings of any show ever in the history of the world.
I don't know about any show ever, but we talked about how nuts the end of season 1 was, and someone was in the comments saying, yeah, it doesn't even compare to season 3.
Well, you can weigh in on that. That's certainly a way to start the program this morning. A lovely Friday morning out there, a lovely Irish Friday morning, I believe. Snowy, windy. No snow on the ground. How about that? That's great here in South Carolina as I turn around from my house and do not see a drop of snow on the ground. So maybe just some ice out there. So be safe if you're getting up and heading in to the office. If the kids are heading into school, I know my 2 are doing the e-learning today because of inclement weather. So whatever you're doing, be safe out there this morning. We've got you taken care of for the next 2 hours and 47 minutes. We'll get you all the way through to Dan Patrick at 9 a.m. Start getting you ready. Divisional playoff weekend, Bengals Titans, 49ers, Packers all on Saturday. That should be a lot of fun. Sunday, we'll feature the Rams and the Bucks. Patrick, I'm going to talk about it. I like the Rams. I'm going with the upset. We'll give you Brian Edwards will have his pick here at about 8:20 this morning. We'll let you hear that. But I like the Rams to go in and end the Tom Brady era. I think this is going to be it. Too many flaws there. We'll get into why I'm telling you. I'll get into it.
The Tom Brady era.
It's going to be it, buddy. This is it. I mean, he's not going to
after leading the league in every pass. Yeah, I mean that's what
not going to retire just yet. But this is it. This will be the start of the downfall. This is finally where the Brady train comes to a screeching halt. He'll continue to play though because he's not retiring. He has nothing else to do with his life. He's not Peyton Manning. And then the night game or the late afternoon, the 6:15 game, the Bills and the Chiefs, which is really maybe could be the best game of the weekend. We'll get into that, Patrick. What the game you're most excited for and what you think just the absolute best game of the weekend is, because I probably admit that I'm most excited for the 49ers Packers, but the Bills Chiefs I think could end up being the best game with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. So we'll get into all that. South Carolina and Georgia tomorrow, Colonial Life Arena, and I got a topic for you. South Carolina's having tryouts for walk-ons. If you're going to be a walk-on right now today, what are you bringing to the table? Great hands, great speed. Are you a blanket defensive back? Are you a speed bump along the offensive line as a defensive end just plows over you? What are you bringing to the table?
Not counting specialists, because everyone's going to say that they can be a punter. Not counting specialists.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll tell you. Yeah, what are you bringing to the table? We'll get into that a little bit. I believe, unless it happened extremely late last night, post. I did stay up, Patrick. By the way, we'll get into this too. I watched a lot of basketball last night. I decided I was going to get into an NBA game for once, and the Suns and the Mavericks very good last night. I didn't realize how good Devin Booker has become. Devin Booker's really, really good at playing basketball. Really good at it. Yeah, he really is. It was a very good game. So we'll get into all that. A lot to get into this morning. Again, if you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100. That's how you can join us on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line. You can join us also on the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. And, of course, you can join us on the Buford Lending live stream. Just go right ahead. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, and click and subscribe. We'd love to have you along there. You can also check us out on Facebook. A lot of ways to interact this morning. Terry Ford is in the studio. He's making his first appearance. We just stumped today. You missed a bunch of Stump the Daves yesterday, Patrick. And
love Stump the Daves. Hey, I'm going to throw up a poll question. What game are you most excited for, by the way?
Oh, sure. Program as well, buddy. You go right ahead. Whatever. He's at _Patrick Brett on the Twitter account. You're listening to the early game on 1075 The Game. All right. Morning, Craig. I wonder how many people are off today because of the weather. It doesn't look any. I mean, it looks perfectly. It looks cold and very windy.
All right, polls up. Which man to be most excited for?
Do what?
Poll question is up.
The poll question is up.
I like when there's 4 options.
Yeah, makes it for an easy poll question, huh? Whatever.
All right. The Panera Big Potato Soup is good.
That is. That's kind of my go-to.
I was gonna say it doesn't compare to the broccoli cheddar. Broccoli cheddar is by far my favorite. In a nice bread bowl. Ooh, that was quick. We're back.
Happy Friday to you. Hope you are doing well this morning. Rolling through the month of January, 6:20 on January 21st. I want to remind you, if you're looking to save money this year, why wouldn't you be? It's time to get in touch with Buford Lending. Benji Getzy, 843-524-2404. You can visit them on the web. Buford.mortgage.com is the way to do that. Named in the top 1% of producing loan officers in the state of South Carolina and the entire United Wholesale Mortgage Network. Benji Getzy and his team want to earn your business. They want to help you. That's right. Rates have gone up a bit. Refinancing is down across the board, but it is still time to lock up and shop some rates. Shop the great rates and do it with Buford Lending. You can give them a phone call, Benji Getzy. Give them a phone call today. Let them earn your business, 843-524-2404. I'm telling you right now, more than ever, experience matters. And right now, with rates rising, you can use Benji's 25 plus years of experience to shop and lock in your rate today. That phone number again, 843-524-2404. Again, that's Benji Getzy and Buford Lending. Patrick's got a poll question up. Do you now, Patrick? What do we got? Where can you go and get it? And what do we got?
Very simple. @_Patrick Perrette on Twitter, and it's just which matchup excites you the most this weekend? Bengals at Titans, 49ers at Packers, Rams at Bucks, Bills at Chiefs.
You going with
great matchups. I'm partial to the Bengals Titans matchup, which I think that might come in last place. But they're probably my 2 favorite teams in the playoffs right now. I like both of those teams a lot. I like everything about the Titans right now, and they're just a really tough team that's overcome a lot of adversity this year. 83 players played on their were on their roster at some point this year. That's a record, and they still got the #1 seed. No one thought they were the best team in the AFC all season long, but they still just kept winning games and got the #1 seed without Derrick Henry too. So he's coming back. I like the redemption arc that Ryan Tannehill has been on for the last couple of years. Like everything about the Titans, and also I just love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. I love that the Bengals or Cincinnati's a city that no one seems to want to play for, but they're just getting it done. And the Joe Burrow turnaround, what Joe Burrow has done to turn around that roster in the last 2 years, gives every franchise hope that if you just get that dude, then you can be in the same place. Because their roster really has not changed much. They got Joe and they got Jamar Chase. Other than that, it's pretty much the same roster, and they've broken a 31-year streak. So, yeah, like both of those teams a lot.
803-404-6100. That's how you can join us this morning if you'd like to do so on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line or on the Love Chevy phone lines. Again, you can also follow along and join us on the Buford Lending live stream. Craig weighing in on the Buford Lending live stream saying Bills Chiefs. I got to admit, that's the game that I think is going to be the best, Patrick. I think the game that I'm most excited about is that 49ers Packers game. Seeing Debo go into Lambeau, and really, quite honestly, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is good for one playoff gag. A year, and that one gag results in him not winning the Super Bowl, not getting to the Super Bowl. And I'm wondering if this is it. It would seem like the guy that takes him down in Jimmy G, the unheralded quarterback star who probably won't even be in San Francisco next year. But I feel like I'm pulling for the Packers. I'm openly rooting for. I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers win the Super Bowl. And then see what becomes of his career in Green Bay or where he may go after that. So I'll admit I'm pulling against Debo. I'd love for Debo to have about 1,000,000 yards, but unfortunately lose by a point. But I'm kind of pulling for the Packers here this weekend. And I think that has a chance. That to me is the game I'm most excited about. But I think the best game of the weekend is going to be in Kansas City when Buffalo goes in there with that defense. They take on Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey and Hardman and just everybody that they're going to run out there, man. It's going to be an interesting weekend of games, and I think those are the two that I'm most excited about. Both are the later games on Saturday and Sunday. But let's go back and start with your Bengals Titans game, the one that you're most excited about. And you're right, a lot of really good young players in that game. Burrow and Jamar Chase, I saw yesterday. Some people are listing them as in the top 3 of quarterback wide receiver combinations. And the development of Jamar Chase this year has been so instrumental in seeing Joe Burrow come on and become almost Baker Mayfield-esque, where Mayfield, 2 years, was it 3 years ago, I think, in his second season when he got into the play, or was it his first season that he was so dynamic, I believe. Not looking at his career stats right in front of me. They didn't make the playoffs his first year, but
he's much better than Baker Mayfield ever was, though. I mean, Joe Burrow was good as a rookie. He just tore his ACL, and nobody really got to see it. And then Jamar Chase came in and opened something else, unleashed something else in that offense that they hadn't had. And also, T. Higgins made a big jump from year 1 to year 2. So really, Tyler Boyd was their only receiving threat last year, and now he's been relegated to the slot role and the number 3 receiver, which he's much better and much more comfortable in. And C.J. Uzomah had a torn ACL last year too, and now he's become, out of nowhere, one of the better tight ends. Certainly not one of the best, but he's probably on the top half of tight ends in the league right now. And they've just completely revitalized. Like their roster is flawed for sure. The Titans have a much better roster than the Bengals do, but Joe Burrow is playing at such a ridiculous level right now. He's got to be a top 5 quarterback in the league at this point, I would think. And he's certainly maybe not a top 5 quarterback right now, but he's undoubtedly in the top 3 to 5 of guys you would want to build your team around. It's basically Josh Allen, Mahomes, and then Burrow.
Yeah, no, that last point. If you talk about players in the NFL that you want to build your franchise, that's a good point, good question. You got, as you just mentioned, you got Mahomes. Josh Allen. Has Josh Allen reached that status yet?
Josh Allen just the high end of Josh Allen is so insanely good. Josh Allen playing his best game is probably the best quarterback in the league, but Josh Allen also has duds and makes boneheaded plays too often. And if he just completely eliminates those, then yeah, he can probably be that guy. But I mean, even right now, I'd say it's Brady and it's Rodgers, and then it's those two, and then it's Burrow.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with you on that. So that, and the other interesting part, a guy that has been in the discussion for building your team around should return this weekend in Derrick Henry, Patrick. And that's another portion of it. What does Derrick Henry look like coming back off of that foot injury? How does he perform this weekend? And how much does that change your opinion of the Titans? Because without Derrick Henry, I've got the Titans right now still winning the Super Bowl, although I'm starting to look after last weekend and what I have to do here in about an hour, eat a donut with mayonnaise on it. I question all picks that I make in life right now or any decision I'm making. But I'm kind of back on the train where I really think it's look, I was with you. I like the Packers. I do like the Packers out of the NFC. I really wanted to take the Bills out of the AFC, but I went chalk. I went Titans, and then I had the Titans winning. But is Derrick Henry healthy enough, you think, to make a run through the playoffs, or is that foot too much of a liability?
Derrick Henry has been the exception to every rule, it seems like, his entire career at this point, because his workload is so insanely high and any other back falls apart. Like they have metrics that once you get X amount of carries in the season, that's where the return on investment starts to plummet. You never pay guys after so many carries, and the Titans paid him, and he's just never stopped. He's never gotten worse. He never fumbles. He's never gotten hurt until this year. So normally, if a guy was out for 8-10 weeks, whatever it was, it's been a long time, and they'd start practicing. Like he just got contacted for the first time yesterday. I saw the notification that he responded well to contact. So they're going to trot him out there, and most guys would be on a pitch count. They'd probably say, yeah, we'll get you 10 touches or something like that and just ease you back into it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they just said, all right, well, we're going to ride you like we always have, Derrick Henry. You are the horse that makes this team go, and you are not human. So just do your thing, and he can go from zero contact for 2 months, 3 months, I can't even remember how long it is, to just carrying them through the playoffs. That wouldn't surprise me a bit. He's just such a freak.
I was looking to see what the weather forecast. I've not looked at the weather
In
forecast in
Nashville. It's supposed to snow today.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's gonna be high of 39.
So the run game there probably pretty important to what Tennessee wants to do, and certainly the way they perform. Yeah, it'll be interesting because I don't know if you get into the playoffs if you want to turn your offense over to Ryan Tannehill to get you through. Now they should be able to beat the Bengals without much of a problem. But you look at the next few weeks, whoever they get, whether it's the Chiefs or the Bills, Derrick Henry being healthy is going to be vital for the Titans getting out of the AFC Championship game.
And Julio Jones and AJ Brown have been banged up all season long too, but I think they're both supposed to be healthy now. It's actually remarkable that they have no 1,000-yard rusher and no 1,000-yard receivers, and they're the number one seed in the AFC without an elite quarterback. And maybe Titans fans would argue that Brian Tannehill is elite, and all he does is just distribute and take care of the ball and win football games. That's really all that you can ask for, but he really is playing at a very high level.
803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in this morning. Again, you can join us on the Buford Lending live stream. Lee weighing in. He says, do you guys think that Deebo can pull off the win against Green Bay? I think the weather in Green Bay is going to be horrible. We'll get into that 49ers-Packers game. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also, you got RL weighing in this morning on the Buford Lending live stream. He says Burrow, Allen, and Justin Herbert, Patrick, all are going to be top 5 soon, if not next year. We'll continue talking about that. A lot of young quarterbacks in the playoffs this weekend should be fun. We'll get into a little bit of that Packers-49ers game. Can Deebo by himself do the job this weekend? How much did Jimmy G have to do? And is this it for Aaron Rodgers? Oh, so many things to talk about. Coming up in an hour, mayonnaise donut. I'm getting more worried about this as we get closer, Patrick, because the whole donut, like I feel like the first bite, it's going to be that new experience. The second bite, I'm going to realize what I've gotten into, and then look at the rest of the donut and just realize it's not the direction I wanted to go on a beautiful, beautiful Irish Friday morning out there. We hope you're staying safe, staying warm this morning. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Patrick Brett, and Terry Ford. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. Hey, buddy. All righty. Sounds good. We'll be good. That's the right way to do it. There you go. Get in early. There's the upside to being in at 6 a.m. It used to be, I think you can go upstairs now without having to enter that code in the in the elevator.
Thank you, RL. Good to be back. I feel like my voice is gaining strength as we go, too. Yeah, better hurry up on that donut run. Warm mayo has to be the play, right? I guess it kind of sounds gross saying that, but cold mayo.
We're just gonna go cold. It's already in the fridge.
Already in the fridge. Oof.
I probably should have left it out. Now that I think about it, shouldn't have, because it was unopened.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just brought it unopened.
Let's see here. Yeah, we got the tiny jar of Dukes and about 1 million donuts.
Yeah, Houston interviewed Josh McCown. No. Yesterday. I thought
Josh McGowan?
Josh McCown.
McCown.
He was just in the league, I'm pretty sure, last year. I'm pretty sure Philly picked him up last year.
Yeah, Anthony, it's chilly out there, buddy. Good morning. There you go, RL. A good old-fashioned donut trip. (6:36) on a Friday morning, January 21st. Hope you are up and at 'em, doing well, getting ready for the NFL weekend. It'll be South Carolina and Georgia also meeting here at Colonial Life Arena, 3:30 on Saturday. Gamecocks looking to get back in the win column following back-to-back losses to Florida, and then obviously this past Tuesday to Arkansas. We'll talk more about that in hour number 2 as we kind of continue discussing right now the NFL playoff, 49ers and Packers this weekend. A couple people weighing in with their predictions on the Buford Lending live stream that I saw early on. Cyburn was saying earlier that Burrow is going to be top 3 here pretty soon. He also said he wants to pick the Niners, but their secondary isn't good enough to slow down Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. And Patrick, I mean, that is, to me, the Aaron Rodgers saga is probably the story of the playoffs, right? Like, if this is the last ride, if this is it for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, you've put yourself in position again to go and win the Super Bowl. They are the Vegas favorite right now in terms of odds to go and win the Super Bowl. It all starts tomorrow night at Lambeau. And I just, for his career, Rodgers doesn't seem to handle pressure well. I mean, you look at his career in key losses in the playoffs, and that's what concerns me about this week and next week is that he's just going to have that game. I was trying to pull back up the stats from last year's NFC Championship game in which it really wasn't him. Tom
That's
Brady.
what I was gonna say. It's rarely Aaron Rodgers just playing terrible and losing in the game.
But does he play good enough to win them? I'm going back. I'm getting back to the game last year. I'll have his stats here in just a minute.
Okay. I mean, when the last time he was in the NFC Championship was when the 49ers just ran all over them. They ran for like over 300 yards. I think it was insane. And that's why I don't think he's ever beaten Kyle Shanahan because Kyle Shanahan just runs all over him. But he's 1-4 in the NFC Championship, and I don't know how bad his stats are. I'll have to go back and look game by game for those.
Rodgers last year was 33 of 48, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So I mean,
pretty good.
Pretty solid. I think that was the game. What was it? They kicked the field goal.
Well,
I'm trying to remember. Fourth and
they kicked the field goal and never got the ball back.
Right. Yeah. Fourth and I have to go back and look at fourth and I want to say 4th and 3, but that doesn't even seem right.
No, it was 4th and goal from like the 8.
Okay, from the 8.
On the play before, Rodgers debatably could have scrambled for the touchdown, but there was a safety there, and he maybe would have gotten tackled, but he tried to make the throw, and then Matt LaFleur decided to kick, and they never got the ball back again.
Yeah, you're right. 4th and goal from the 8 with 2:05 left is when they kicked the field goal. So you're right. It's not like he's played bad. Just for whatever reason, the Packers have not been able to get over the hump. And you look at that game. I don't know. How do you assess that tomorrow night, NFL guru? Like it's going to be cold. Troy is weighing in on the Buford Lending live stream. I think he's referring to the Green Bay weather tomorrow night, 8 degrees and a wind chill of -4. That'll be frosty. That'll be frosty. How do you assess this game tomorrow night?
Well, the 49ers are going to just try and run the ball and play ball control. They're going to try and keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. They're going to try and use Debo, use misdirection, all that, the zone running counter game, that super unique runs that Kyle Shanahan always has in his back pocket. And they're just going to try and run clock. And if Aaron Rodgers makes a couple mistakes, if Devontae Adams is his only good receiver, if Alan Lazard or Marquez Valdez-Scantling just drops a pass, maybe they don't beat their man or fall down on a route on the slippery cold turf, then 49ers get an interception. Like, that's all it's going to take. I mean, 1 or 2 mistakes can be the difference in that game. So I think it's going to be very close. I think the 49ers are going to do a good job of chewing clock. I think ultimately the Packers win the game, and I think Aaron Rodgers is destined to go to another NFC Championship and maybe push his record to 1-5. But I think they win this game. Jimmy Garoppolo is banged up. I don't trust him to make any of the important throws that are going to need to be made in clutch time. But I do think the 49ers are able to keep it close. Kyle Shanahan, I don't see him getting blown out in situations like this. He's too good of a coach.
It's, again, I'm with you. It's going to be cold. You say blown out. I don't know if necessarily being beat by double digits, by 10 points, is getting blown out, because that's what I could see from this game. I would definitely take the Packers in this game. I think they're going to get the job done. It's next week that concerns me, as I will pick. I'll be on the Rams side here later, so I'd be saying that they will get the Rams at home and an offense that can actually do some damage. But it is interesting tomorrow night to see how Kyle Shanahan in that weather utilizes Debo Samuel. Last week, it was 10 rushes for 72 yards and just 3 catches. And Patrick, you're right. I think Samuel's becoming their absolute best option at running the football. And what different ways, whether it's in motion or just straight handing the ball out of the backfield, do you expect to see him given the ball tomorrow night against that Packer defense?
Well, he's so efficient because they're really smart when they use him. And generally, they get him on toss plays or out to the outside with lead blockers. Because, I mean, we remember Debo having just incredible vision. That's why he was such a good return man. He just sees the blocks and is able to kind of visualize the whole field. That's why Trent Williams is the best left tackle in football, and he is a freak athlete. Like, him getting out in front of the play is terrifying to watch if you're a fan of the opposition. But that's just what they do. They have athletic linemen. They get out in front, they pull guys, and they toss Debo the ball and just say, follow your blocks and make a play. Like, if you go back and watch that 26-yard touchdown he had in last week's win over the Cowboys, that's all it was. Is he sees the blocks forming and he just makes a couple cuts, makes a couple guy miss, and boom, he's gone. He's so fast that if you don't get him down behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage, he's going to make all your linebackers and secondary players miss because he's that dynamic. But I think it's his vision ultimately.
Yeah, Clinton weighs in on the Cool Care Heating Air text line. I don't know what the record is. Maybe we need to look this up. He says Aaron has never beat the Niners in the playoffs. Patrick, you just mentioned
that is correct.
What is? I mean, how many is it? 0-3? Is it 0-1? Do we know?
I remember there was one against, I think Kaepernick beat him on the way to their Super Bowl berth. I'm pretty sure he's been 3 times.
0-3.
Yeah.
So yeah, some demons to exercise tomorrow night and try and move past that. And look, that to me is the game that, because of the weather, I guess I'm becoming a sucker for the really cold weather games that I can watch in my house and enjoy in my living room with the fire going here and not have to be at the game. I'm excited about that one. I think that one's going to be very entertaining. So, we'll continue talking about that one. The other game, the other two on Sunday, we'll get into those as well. Certainly, it should be a fun weekend. Patrick, we are not placing a bet on these games. My stomach is already starting to churn. Just thinking I don't handle the food stuff like you do. I don't get excited. I'm not a adventurous eater like you are. So the thought of putting this Duke's mayonnaise on this donut here in just a little while is kind of already making me feel a little queasy this morning. But we'll do that on the Buford Lending live stream coming up in about 45 minutes. And then again, a reminder, 8:05 this morning, Chris Deering will join us for the high school headlines of the week, talk a little high school basketball and what is going on there. Again, some games being moved around because of the weather. And at 8:20 this weekend, 8:20 this morning, we will have Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com for his weekly segment to break down these games. Patrick, Cincinnati, Tennessee minus 3.5 per bet MGM. You going with the Titans or are you taking the Bengals in that game?
I'll take the Bengals. I will find it hard to take a favorite in any of these games this week.
Really? Is it that hook that scares you, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're all going to be close games, and I will probably take if we're on the wrong side of a key number in any of these matchups, I'm probably going to find myself on the other
Okay,
taking the points. I mean,
all right. So then you're also going with San Francisco plus the 5.5. Is that where you're going in the?
Because we're too close to that key number of 7. Nah, I think I'll take the Packers. I would not probably bet that game because you can't buy points either way to get yourself through a key number.
All right, so you like the Packers.
I would potentially buy down the Titans to a minus 2.5 and bet them there.
Right, Patrick likes the Bengals plus the 3.5. He likes the Packers minus the 5.5. I like Tennessee minus the 3.5. I'm with him. I'm going to take the Packers. I think a late touchdown seals the deal and they cover the spread. Although you're getting a pick from a guy who's going to eat a mayonnaise donut here in a little while for his picks last weekend. 803-404-6100. That's how you can join us this morning. I want to tell you about QC Kinetics. It's cold outside right now. Those joints, those muscles, those ligaments, could be causing you some issues. You might have a little bit of inflammation. You need to get rid of it. You need to call QC Kinetics today, 803-281-6860. All consultations are free. The best thing about QC Kinetics, no surgery, no steroids, no opioids, no addictive pain medications. They do it with regenerative medicine. It's a pain management clinic designed to help you get back to living the lifestyle you want to live. Let's be honest, you probably want to get out and play football in the yard against your children. And not only do you want to play, you want to, run over them, smash. You want to be like what Derrick Henry does to opposing defenses. Just shove them into the ground and teach them a lesson. Teach them that football is a rough, violent sport. But you can't do it if you're held back with issues with muscles, with ligaments, with tissues. If you've got inflammation, if you've got pain in your joints, in your knees, in your ankles, your toes, you need to call QC Kinetics today, 803-281-6860. Again, all consultations are free. That's QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. We'll wrap up our number one when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were back yet or not, so I kind of held out there as long as I could. I was like, all right, I figured by now we got it. Nice. Solid. Okay. That's only pre 6 a.m. Solid. Solid. All right.
I don't know what the plan is for the 8 o'clock hour with the live stream. Bill. Bill really always forgets to turn his speaker on in the breaks. Somebody comment, Bill, turn your speaker on, please. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, RL. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. To defend Brian, Bill gets his picks sent. Brian sends Bill picks. I never look at them. I tell him I don't want to because I just want to ask questions. And a lot of the time, he's just telling us his breakout games that he's not really
cold and windy out there. What'd you say?
A lot of things while your speaker was off.
Well, I was walking outside to just. I'm looking to see like is it as bad as everybody's saying, or is it just a rainy, cold morning? Like
everyone was watching me try to talk to you.
Oh, and when I walked off,
and then I said, "Please tell him to turn the speaker on," and then everyone commented, "Bill, turn your speaker on."
I was more concerned about the weather.
What I asked you though is, what are we going to do in the 8 o'clock hour about getting this audio on the live stream?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I mean, if you want to try and explain it, honestly, the best thing to do would be to tell Terry to turn however we used to do it and play it through the studio.
Yeah, but
I didn't even think about that.
He's not on the live stream though.
Yeah. $6:51 on a Friday morning. I walked outside on the live stream. I was just completely ignoring Patrick. But right. Yeah, sorry about that, Patrick. I'm fascinated by the weather, man. I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on right now. Like if it's, huh?
Can't even see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't really tell what's going on. I didn't know. Like I'm looking at the weather report, says possible freezing rain around 7 a.m. So I guess that'd be in 9 minutes. The rain just magically starts freezing. I'm not sure. According to my weather app, it is 34 degrees, but feels like 26 out there. So if you're out and about, be safe. I'm reading the winter weather advisory that's in effect until tomorrow at 7 a.m. So I'm not real sure, but if you got to get out this morning, I've seen some people on the Buford Lending live stream saying they are off today, inclement weather. I think some schools are out today. I know my two kids are out today, Patrick, as this weather expected to be kind of nasty today. Good day. What do you think? Chili? What's the you went baked potato soup? You got a good chili recipe for the weekend?
I love a good chili day though, man. Yeah, I just get chili, cornbread. I always go with the Zatarans, cheddar jalapeno cornbread, cheddar cheese, of course, sharp cheddar. And I don't like beans, so I don't put beans in my chili. Some people get very offended by that, but I don't. And I just mush it all together and mix it up. Put the cornbread in the chili and just mix it up in there.
Are you just a traditional chili guy? The last 2 weekends we've had the chicken chili around here, and turkey chili was the direction last week.
I did turkey chili last year. It's just a clear step down from
Really?
traditional
Just
chili.
a clear step down.
It's just It's I bought ground chili or ground turkey and everything. Put the same mix in there, and it was clearly in my mind not as good.
803-404-6100 during the break. You can weigh in just yes or no. That's all we need. Yes or no. Is turkey chili a clear step down over regular chili? Because I feel like with the chili, it's the other ingredients you put in there that is what
They're
decides
important.
like that's what decides the chili. Like whether it's turkey, the turkey was really good. Oh, RL, yes. T weighing in, yes. And then Ross says that's a bad take, Patrick.
I'm all for a healthy replacement, but I will not ever replace turkey for beef again in my chili. Can't do it.
Okay. Anthony saying also, yes, it is a step down. See, I don't know. See, I think it's the ingredients you put in. I think it is the ingredients that go into the chili that what makes the chili. And then by ingredients, I realize people are yelling right now saying, Bill, you do realize that the beef or the turkey is the ingredient. But I think it's the others. Like you said, the cheese that you put in with the chicken chili. We put in Monterey Jack cheese. And it just, and a little cilantro just brings everything together. I mean, you throw hot sauce. I think you throw some hot sauce on chili, and
you have to.
Yeah. It's all in the secondary ingredients. If you want to weigh in on the chili conversation, 803-404-6100. We'll get into the Rams and the Bucks. I'm calling it the end of the Tom Brady era. I'll tell you why in hour number 2, and we'll get into that Chiefs-Bills game. I was told that I can't keep saying Bills-Chiefs because then people think that I like the Chiefs. We'll call it the Chiefs-Bills game. Look, basketball as well, and a donut with mayonnaise. It's going to happen on the live stream. It's going to be awful. It's the early game. Bill Gunner, Patrick Brett, 107.5, the game. Venison chili? Yeah, I can see where that would be.
All right, we're going to be back right at the top of the hour, Bill.
Yeah. Oh, deer chili is a step up.
Something's missing. Something's missing with the turkey. I agree. I wanted it to be the same. But it's like, I mean, it should have been clear. It's like a turkey burger.
More coffee. I'll be right back. Continue the chili conversation because it sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's like a turkey burger versus a regular burger. A good turkey burger is fine. I'll eat it. But all things equal, it's nothing close to a regular burger. I can imagine venison chili is outstanding, though. I would very much like that. Somebody else, Kangaroo Kyle said deer chili is a step up. I've never made chicken chili either. Which bumper music, Jeff? The one we just ended that hour with? I believe we just ended the hour with Last Night by The Strokes. Yeah, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's terrible. Like, I'll eat a lot of turkey bacon, but if we're comparing it to regular bacon, no, it's not even close. It doesn't deserve to be called bacon in comparison. Ugh. Yeah, R.I.P. Meatloaf. I might eat a meatloaf for dinner in honor of him. I do think we should all collectively eat meatloaves for dinner. Who makes the best meatloaf in Colombia?
Oh, yeah. Meatloaf. I've seen y'all all talking about that. I got a text about Meatloaf passing away.
Yeah, who's got the best meatloaf in town, Bill?
I'm not a meatloaf eater. I don't. That's not something. I went to O'Hara's for lunch yesterday, and I looked at there. I thought about getting their turkey, or excuse me, their chili, but I ended up going with the pot roast, which was pretty delicious over
Yeah.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
That was pretty strong.
I need a crock pot because it's the easiest thing in the world to make. I'm trying to remember what it was when was I home? Not eating meatloaf ever. Dude, meatloaf's good, Craig. Don't be a hater.
All right, so did we figure out when the bad weather is supposed to start? Because it's 6:59. Is it supposed to start right at 7? Like, if I turn around in a minute? Like, is it just because now I'm seeing people say it might start snowing tonight.
A smoked meatloaf. Cool.
A smoked meatloaf. Oh boy.
Would have never thought of that. I guess you can smoke it.
I can believe you on the it's awesome part, but that's still meatloaf is not a direction I think I'll be taking the next 40 years of my life. I'm just
You know.
wait. I walk away to go get coffee for 2 minutes, and I come back and the live stream. How did you guys get? But the passing of Meatloaf, by the way, the actual singer, what was the line? I'll
Do anything for love.
Yeah, but I won't do that. And then I think he was pretty active, like on stage, and he fell off the stage one time and messed up his knee.
Yeah. Heath Klein was beat up about it. I saw the news break via Heath Klein's Twitter account.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can see that. Heath seems. I mean, we've heard Heath with his Thunder and Lightning
That's right.
rendition. I can see where he would be a big.
I think it was something about Meatloaf being a fantasy football guy, big fantasy football guy.
Oh yeah. Heath Klein. Another little known fact about Heath Klein: he takes his fantasy football very seriously. He doesn't talk about it on air, but I've seen him like chew out Jay Phillips over whether to start a third running back or a third wide receiver. He gets very into that stuff.
The flex spot.
One time he just grabbed Jay Phillips by the nose and smacked him like Curly did or whatever one of the Stooges did.
Well, Jay gave him a bad suggestion.
Yeah, right. Heath is very serious about his fantasy football. He doesn't like to talk about it on air because he doesn't want to give away his secrets, and he feels like the other people that play listen all the time, and he doesn't want to give away. He's like 9-time champion. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Heath is wild stuff. 803-404-6100. Yeah, the passing of the singer Meatloaf last night. Is that how I come back and you guys on the live stream, you guys and girls?
We've all decided on the live stream. We're all eating meatloaf for dinner tonight in honor of Meatloaf.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll be attending the concert at Colonial Life Arena, Alabama. Martina McBride not going to be there tonight. She was expected to be there.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Exile. Yeah, I don't know if I'm familiar with them at all.
I'm not at all.
Okay, good. Good. Two of us.
Enjoy.
803-404-6100. That's how you can join us this morning if you want to weigh in. Again, last night, no NFL football. I know that they didn't have any last Thursday night. I guess I was just wrapped up in wild card weekend. But Patrick, no NFL last night. I guess we hadn't had it for 2 weeks in a row. But you kind of moved on. I got into I'm starting to transition now back into the NBA, and I did watch a good bit of Mavs Suns last night, and we won't spend a lot of time on it because I know a lot of people just despise the NBA, but a pretty entertaining game. Devin Booker's fun to watch. Like the agility, being able to move around the court, some of the shots he hits, and then Luka Doncic, another guy that's just absolutely fun to watch. He's still kind of battling some injuries. Pretty entertaining game. Chris Paul, the ageless Chris Paul, who's just peddling insurance and banging down 3-pointers. Hits a big one late in the ball game and wrapped that one up for the Suns. I also got in last night a little bit of college basketball. And Patrick, I'm going to start really banging the drum for college basketball, and it kind of really, I think, making a return to being a very good sport. I understand why people went away from college basketball. I understand that, the last 15, 18 years of college basketball, the one and dones and the shoe company, I get all of it. I really do. And I'm kind of there with you, even as a college basketball fan. But last night, I mean, Indiana Purdue was a fantastic game. And it again goes to show that there is a lot of parity in college basketball because Indiana picks up a 3-point win at home over Purdue. I'd forgotten Mike Woodson was coaching at Indiana now. The former Cleveland Cavalier coach, former NBA coach, is now with the Hoosiers. And I mean, the atmosphere was awesome at Assembly Hall. The game was really good, back and forth. Purdue's number 4 in the country. College basketball is actually in a really, really good spot with parity, with atmosphere. I think the play is getting better because you are starting to weed out some of the one and dones who are just going straight to the G League. I encourage people, college basketball is coming back around to being a really fun sport to get involved in.
Well, but we've talked about this or posed the question, I think, about college football, but when your team is not good, does that just affect your entire opinion on the sport? Like when you watch an incredible environment like Assembly Hall, and then you look at the Colonial Life Arena with 3,000 people there for a top 10 opponent, does that just make you kind of resentful or just make you not care about the sport as much? Because I would totally understand that if that's what people are saying. Like, why do I need to watch them have such a great time? 2 teams I don't care at all about, a bunch of kids that I've never heard of them. Why would I even bother doing that?
Brandon weighs in on the Buford Lending live stream, says all the stoppage for fouls turns me off of college basketball. It depends on what game you're watching. I get it.
Quite hard. Like this year has been harder for me to get into, though, because Maryland already fired their coach. I like Maryland. I like watching Maryland games. They're terrible. And South Carolina is no good either.
I think college basketball has been such a tough sport to get into the last 20 years that the answer to your question is yes. When your team is not doing well, it is so easy to turn it off and go away from it. I can't imagine. Look, I've sat through some really bad South Carolina seasons, football seasons, but I still get into college game day at 9 a.m. on Saturday. I still have a plan for grilling or food or something throughout the college day. I can sit and watch college football all Saturday long and be very happy and content. I think there's even some people who've gotten to the point that they're more happy and content, or had gotten more happy and content not having a South Carolina game on to watch the last few years with the end of the Will Muschamp era. But I don't know if I would ever say, oh yeah, I would enjoy. I mean, look, when your team's winning, it is more fun, but I think we all enjoy college football for what it is. College basketball, I think, had reached such a bad place, and then throw in what was going on with Will Wade, with Bill Self, with Sean Miller, the shoe companies with just what appeared to be extreme corruption. I mean, it's funny, of all those coaches I just mentioned, and throw Rick Pitino in there as well. Pitino's back in coaching at Iona. Bill Self is the Teflon Don there in Kansas. He's going to hang around for another 20 years. Nothing would stick to that guy. He can basically, just openly pay a guy $10,000 in cash, which actually would be on the low end there. But, and the NCAA's not going to do anything. And Will Wade's just out there making strong bleeping offers to any recruit that's open to the idea of coming to LSU. I get that a lot of that all turns people off from college basketball. But I do tell you, the product that's on the court now. I watched LSU Alabama, the aforementioned Will Wade.
He was being applauded for his post-game press conference because he made a strong statement about getting a technical foul because he said, "I'm going to stand up for my guys. We're not going to allow that to happen." And people were
that's right.
Very happy.
It's a good sport. South Carolina takes on Georgia tomorrow, Patrick, 3:30. You and I, we sat here, I guess a week ago. I guess it was a week ago, and we looked at the South Carolina-Florida game, and my comment was, you look at the next 4 games, which was Florida, Arkansas, Georgia, Vanderbilt. I was like, South Carolina's got to go 3-1, or really needs to go 3-1 to kind of improve their season. And as you go into this Georgia game, again, I've been the proponent that I don't know if there's ever a must-win game, just from the standpoint of, well, if you lose this one but you win the next seven, let's just hypothetically say you lose this one but you win the next seven, Patrick. Did that make this one, just because you lost this Georgia game, did it end all hope? Well, no. So hypothetically, you could win this one and then win, or you lose tomorrow and win every other one. But I got to be honest, the way this team is trending, the way you see the fan base trending with the team, the connection, the emotions that are now going. It is as close to a must-win game, I think, as you can get. I don't expect, obviously, because of the weather, but also just because of what I've seen from fan reaction, I'm not expecting some great turnout at Colonial Life Arena. It's going to be one that this team's going to have to come together and gut out, because if they lose, the consequences, I think, could be catastrophic for the rest of the year.
Well, yeah, if you lose, first of all, you can kiss the postseason, whatever distant chance you have at it right now, goodbye. You can go ahead and kiss your fan base goodbye. And I would be worried about what that represents, because if you are down right now, you've just lost a couple brutal games, you've just played a terrible half, one of your worst halves of the season, after playing one of your best halves of the season in that Arkansas game, and you can't rally to beat a really bad Georgia team. I don't know what that says about your team, about the mental fortitude of your team, about your locker room. You have to be able to bounce back against the worst team in the conference and get a win at home. Like, if you can't do that, then what is this team anyway? So yeah, I would say it's basically a must win. If you lose this game, then you got to win the next seven just to get the fan base back. If you want anybody in that arena, you got to beat Georgia.
I think you get well. I think you get concerned. Yeah, I think you're past the point where now you're on the point of maybe getting concerned. But to hear Frank Martin talk about the other night not playing Jermaine Cousinard and AJ Wilson because they weren't mentally ready, I guess is the way to say it. I can't remember the exact sentence he used, but we've talked about it. Cousinard has just not been the same since his freshman season, and reasons somewhat beyond his control with home and with things going on. But you can tell he's just. We've talked about it. He was 2 of 10 against Florida the other day, so at least he was being active and trying to score. But you can tell he's not in sync with this team, and quite frankly, neither is Keyshawn Bryant.
No, not at all. And I don't. It's too late now to kind of turn that around. And it wasn't just Jermaine Cousinard that didn't play last week either. It was AJ Wilson, and he should be or is one of your best defenders too. So I mean, it's not like these are just two guys that we're going to get a couple 3 to 5 minutes a night, and you're not losing much by them not being on the court. These are guys that were supposed to be big time contributors that have both been in the starting lineup. So I don't know what to make of that or what that foretells for the rest of the season, but it can't be a good sign when two of your more important players, or at least what we thought were going to be your more important players, aren't even suiting up in a huge game.
803-404-6100. That's how you can join us this morning. We've certainly talked. We talked big picture South Carolina basketball. Patrick, that's kind of where I was at yesterday, and I'll ask you the question that I kind of posed because you followed. You mentioned Maryland. Where is this South Carolina basketball job? Big picture, because I talked about really 50 years. That's kind of what it is. Five NCAA tournament appearances in 50 years. Where is the basketball job overall? I think the consensus we came to yesterday is that it's somewhere between about a top 80, or excuse me, it's somewhere between about 120 and 80 is about where you would put it in terms of overall jobs in college basketball. That's, right around the top, right around the number 100. No better than 80, no worse than 120 is kind of what we seem to come to. Are you in agreement with that? Or do you think this job is indeed better than what we're giving it credit for?
No, it's I would say it's right around that 100 mark. But I mean, pretty much every job in the Big East is a better job than South Carolina. Most all Power 5 jobs are. But I mean, the money can't be overlooked. And if you're gonna make $2 million coaching here, then that is a part of it. So that does bump it up a little bit, because even if you're not going to win basketball games, you're going to be paid handsomely. So I don't think we can just brush over the pay. And maybe not everybody would make, obviously not everyone would make what Frank Martin is making. If you bring somebody in that's never coached at the Power 5 level before, he's not going to make the same salary. But the fact that the university is willing to pay that is pretty important.
I mean, it's good that they're willing to pay it, but look at the end of the day, that's I'm just glancing very quickly here. I don't $3 million now for a basketball coach is not exactly like. I mean, it's getting to be the average. I mean,
Frank Martin was making
but,
more than Mark Turgeon at Maryland.
So yeah, I mean, I was looking. Chris Beard's new salary at Texas is $5 million. Is what it at. You got Rick Barnes, obviously at Tennessee, who's right there at 4.95. Bobby Huggins at $4 million. So yeah, the money, big picture. South Carolina is not really falling behind. They're not really ahead of the game. They're kind of in the middle there. The average salary right now looking to be about $3.5 to $4 million now for a basketball coach. Right, Tom is a little surprised he's only 12th at 3.9 million. This is off the website that I'm looking at, which is a link to a Forbes article. But Buzz Williams also at 3.9. So yeah, it's interesting. I got into that conversation a lot yesterday, just about where exactly this job ranks, and something certainly to consider. So South Carolina, Georgia tomorrow, 3:30, Colonial Life Arena. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game and follow along. And as Patrick and I kind of agree, it's as close to a must-win regular season game in January as you can get to, because I can read the text lines. I've seen how people feel on the Buford Lending live stream, and Patrick, I'd say it's fair. We get it. People are, they want some success, and they want this team to do well. Nobody, I think, is rooting against them, but right now, it just seems to be a little bit too much up and down, and people right now want to see this team turn the corner, and they want to see postseason play. I don't blame them at all for that.
Yeah, I guess there's levels too. Is it a must-win for what? A must-win to keep postseason hopes alive? A must-win to keep the fan base interested? A must-win for Frank Martin to keep his job? Like, what are we saying a must-win for? Because there's probably a slightly different answer for each.
I think it's a must-win to keep the fan base semi-engaged, and maybe even the team. It's hard to get a good gauge of where exactly the team is, because they seem to say the right things, and I think they do play hard. But it's right now trying to get a gauge of where this team is, Patrick. And so when I say must win, I feel that if things go south on South Carolina on Saturday and you lose to Georgia, the fan base, if they haven't already, the fan base unfortunately will completely check out and be upset, and the frustration. And because I think that's what we're still at. We're still at frustration, but I think it'll turn to just flat anger, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, you want to be playing meaningful games in the month of February. If people are already checked out by the time the calendar turns to February, you've got problems. And it's just like football. I mean, if South Carolina fans were already checked out by mid-October in football, yeah, you'd have big problems. But that's pretty much where we're at right now.
So that's what you've got there for the men. Again, 3:30 tomorrow. We'll get into a little bit more college basketball stuff as we go through the program. I want to get back into the NFL playoffs. The women, by the way, do not play this weekend. They don't play until Monday when they host Vanderbilt here at Colonial Life Arena. And then next Thursday night, Gino Auriemma and Connecticut roll into town. I don't know if that matchup, look, it's still Connecticut, and that rivalry that has been built between the Gamecocks and the Huskies certainly still stands out. But that game now will be at 6 p.m. There was a time change on it, 6 p.m. on ESPN. So South Carolina and Connecticut next Thursday night. So for Dawn Staley's team, you get Vanderbilt on Monday night at Colonial Life Arena and Connecticut at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. So we'll get more into that. But up next, we'll get into that Rams-Bucks game. Tom Brady's not retiring, Patrick. But I'll tell you, and I think you'll agree with me, because I'm basing some of this on what you told me. I'll tell you why I think this is the end of the Bucks right here, and why it could be the end of Tom Brady, because I've got the Rams winning. I think Matthew Stafford goes in. It's the year of the Georgia teams, and by proxy, Stafford is a Bulldog, having played there, so he'll take that with him and the Rams. I'll tell you why I believe it's the end of Tom Brady. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Terrible. Just terrible.
What is terrible?
You know it's bad when they go into the Northwestern game as an underdog. That's so embarrassing.
Oh, you're talking about Maryland?
Yeah, oh, absolutely not. Because he's already failed once. I don't know who a strong answer would be. Yeah, Turgeon signed up to be. I think Turgeon's a good basketball coach. He signed up to be an ACC coach, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think T, you're saying that lost a game somewhere and the fans just turned on him, and I think that's where we're heading here.
No, but his best team didn't get to play in the tournament. The best team he ever coached, and then that LSU loss that would have taken him to the Sweet 16. Tremont Waters pushed off, and I think he made the most out of last year's team. I think he coached the hell out of last year's team.
All right, so we'll do kind of a shorter segment here, and then I'll break out. You want me to do the donut at 7:30, or you want me to do it at the top of the hour? The problem with the top of the hour is we're not doing that CBS thing, so we're coming back at right at 8:00. And if I start gagging, you might have to carry the Chris Deering segment. Did you catch any of that?
No.
Okay, I was talking about. Do you want me to eat the donut here in the next break, or do you want me to do it closer to the top of the hour? I just said though, if I start gagging on the donut, which it could happen, you might have to carry the Chris Deering segment and just ask high school questions, or just leave.
Eat it in the next. I don't even know who the high schools are. I will never carry that. I'll never be able to carry that segment.
Something's banging around behind me out there, and I'm trying.
That segment's my weekly 15-minute break. Craig, yes and no. I'm on season 3, episode 6, but I mentioned this in the first segment. When I was driving home from work this morning, I was listening to a podcast, and I got the end of season 3 spoiled for me. I know now how season 3 ends because of a freaking podcast, and I'm 3 hours away from knowing myself.
I want to know. So I know the characters, but obviously, I'm kind of. I don't know the storyline anymore. But now you got me wondering because I kind of want to know who. Obviously, a major character got killed off, and now you got me kind of wondering who it could be.
I mean, I'll say it on here, but somebody has to say if you don't want me to say it. Somebody comment if you don't want me to say it.
Or turn your mic. We're talking about the Ozark ending of season 3.
I'll give it a minute if someone says that they don't want me to. Ross says no spoilers.
No spoilers. That's all right.
I won't do it.
I'll Wikipedia it.
Do you want me to just put it in the top private chat?
No, because I'm going to read what happened. I don't know if I'll ever truly get back into Ozark. I probably should. Just
I didn't say it, RL.
live stream discussion centered around Ozark. Patrick, today is Ozark. I mean, I guess
Yeah, it's
technically
out. It's out already. I checked my Netflix. It's out.
yeah. So today, season 4 of Ozark is out. And Patrick, if you didn't hear the opening to the program, is very upset because he was heading back home and was listening to a podcast. How many episodes are you away from the end of season 3?
3.5.
He's been binging. He's been doing all he somehow he got sick and somehow he managed to go through 3 seasons. Well, I think he went through about 3 in 48 hours, which is wildly impressive. But and then listening to a podcast, somebody spoiled the ending
Of season 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I should have known. Everyone's excited for the show to come out, but I might just take this spitefully and just go full heel and just binge every show as soon as it comes out and then just spoil them for everyone.
Just start ruining it for every
yeah. Just every Monday morning. Every Monday morning, come in and spoil the Sunday night HBO show.
Jason says, "Will, what are you watching instead of, if not Ozark?" I gotta admit, I'm not a good television watcher.
You're not a good movie watcher. You're not a good show watcher. You're not good at anything involving scripted television.
It can't hold my attention that long. It's kind of like last night. I was flipping back and forth, Indiana and Purdue. I was watching basketball flip. I was really starting to get into the NBA, the Mavs and the Suns last night. There was a time because I was watching the American Express golf back at least on the mainland now. We got it back over at La Quinta. La Quinta, I think, is the golf course that they're at. It's the American Express this weekend, and I was watching that, and then there was like a gap from 7 to 7:30 where there was not a whole lot on, and I think I almost tried to wrap up Ted Lasso. I thought about it because I never even finished Ted Lasso.
What?
Yeah, after
Ted Lasso ends on a wild note too.
The
ending of Ted Lasso is awesome.
I didn't finish it. I'm a season and a half in or something like that. Ozark I watched, and just one of those things. After that whole situation with Breaking Bad, which you and I discussed, where I tried to binge all of that, and it was like we looked it up. It was like 60 episodes, 50 some odd episodes, and
binging does kind of destroy your love for shows sometimes, because I watched Breaking Bad when I was laid up after a surgery. I watched the whole show in like a week. It was way too much, and by the end of it, I was like, just kill the guy, get it over with. I'm over this show. Can't watch any more Breaking Bad. So I was kind of resentful by the end of it, but I would understand that if you watch one season, once a week, and then you got to wait 6 months, 8 months, whatever it is, because that's how it was for Game of Thrones for me. And I've never been more on the edge of my seat or just begging for a new episode to come out. I would spend the whole week watching videos and reading articles about what people think is going to happen next week. I would talk about it in school or in group messages all week. So yeah, I love that feeling, but binging does kind of ruin it.
Does anybody watch sitcoms anymore? Like, are sitcoms still a thing? They're not like they used to be, right? Like,
I just saw that there's How I Met Your Father now.
Yeah, they're doing that.
What are we doing? Big Bang Theory's got a spinoff. Everything's got spinoffs now. We're remaking everything.
I say that because Friends comes on TBS every afternoon, and they play like 5 episodes, maybe 7. They play a bunch. They play a bunch of episodes all during the day. And yesterday I had the TV on a Friends zone. I don't know. It's early on because they basically go through the whole series in like 4 weeks, and then it just starts back over.
Yeah.
And so on TBS right now in the afternoon, that's all they show. It's like 4 hours of Friends, so it's like 8 episodes that you go through a day, and I'll just sit there and have it on the television as I'm doing other things. And I actually looked it back up, and they had the Friends reunion, but it got me thinking. I don't think people watch sitcoms anymore. Like, there's some stuff I guess people maybe still go and check out. I don't know what the hot sitcom is now. That's on like cable television, I should say. That's on radio.
I feel like everybody rewatches their favorite sitcoms, like because The Office is like comfort viewing for people my age. That's what everybody watches to fall asleep or when they just need something to put on. It's always The Office. But Friends is one of those. Seinfeld's one of those, and everyone's got their thing. There's Like Parks and Rec is a popular one, but I don't know what's on right now that's really big.
No, I don't know. Like, I know that, again, I think everybody watches what we're talking about, like the Ozark, like the
And the
binge
big shows
watching
on cable, I think, are like drama. I think This Is Us is really big on NBC, but I
Sounds
think that's
fair.
very like serious and heavy, not a sitcom.
It's a television talk there. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. If you want to join
But
us.
83 of the top 100 television shows of last year were NFL games.
Okay, well, there you go.
Actually, I think 75 were NFL games and 8 were college football games.
Speaking of the NFL, Rams and Bucks this weekend, we'll get into that coming up here in the break. You can go to our Buford Lending live stream. I got a whole bunch of donuts over there, and I got 2 boxes. I got Dunkin' and I got Krispy Kreme. I got a small jar of Duke's mayo here. If you want to see a grown man eat a whole donut, because last week I stunk at picking. I went 3-3 last week, Patrick. It's not like I went 1-5. You just went 4-2 last week.
Yep.
To defeat me. But yeah, that's the other part that's bothersome is I don't feel like I had an awful week. I just didn't get it came down. My son Austin was asking me about the kind of the difference and what happened. I was like, well, honestly, the 49ers Cowboys game, I really did like the Cowboys, and they play an awful game. And of course, the 49ers have no problem whatsoever. They're able to hold on in a fantastic game. Maybe if Dak would have slid, I still wouldn't have covered the spread. Unless they'd have gone down and scored a touchdown. But that's the one that really cost me there. And coming up on the Buford Lending live stream, we'll pick a donut here. I'll go get the 2 boxes of donuts. We'll pick a donut and we'll put some mayonnaise on it, and I will pay off the bet. It looks disgusting. It sounds disgusting. It looks disgusting. This is not going to be the direction that I wanted to start my Friday morning on. But we'll do that. So you can go to 1075 The Game's YouTube page. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click and subscribe to that, and you can join in. RL, Hope, Chuck, all weighing in. RL saying, I have no idea what sitcoms are even out right now. Kelly weighing in. I'm starting to feel depressed. Football season is almost over. I really dislike this time of the year. And then we've also got RL weighing in again on a Boba Fett show that you guys are into. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines real quick. Let's go out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Eddie is on hold. Eddie, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Yes. Yes, okay. It's Ricky Gervais. He plays. Oh wait, episodes. That's extras. Episodes is the one on Showtime where they adapt a British show to America. So it's 2 British writers that write a show, and it's about like a boarding school or something. And they adapt it to America, and the networks make them cast Matt LeBlanc as the lead character, even though he doesn't fit the role at all.
Matt LeBlanc is huge now, by the way.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I noticed yesterday
because
do you remember? Did you ever watch Friends? Are you a friend? This is where Jen
I've
shines.
Seen Friends. Yeah, no, I've seen.
Did you ever see the episode? The very end of an episode, they wonder what it would have been like if Joey had married Monica, and they have Fat Joey, and Monica's just like Fat Joey from that episode is actually now Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah,
like, I saw like the trailer or the teaser or whatever for the reunion, the Friends reunion. I'm not going to watch that Friends reunion. That'll make me feel old and feel bad about myself. But yeah, like Matt LeBlanc is huge now. So talking about someone being huge from the guy who's about to eat a donut with mayonnaise.
He's got like $1 billion though. He's got nothing to worry about. I would be huge too.
803-404-6100. I'm going to eat a mayonnaise donut here off air, and then I'm probably going to need a nap. And of course, if I'm going to take a nap, probably going to need a sleep number bed. You need a sleep number bed. We all need a sleep number bed. That's how you get a great night of sleep. That's exactly how you can wake up rested, refreshed, ready to go each and every morning. I put that sleep number setting on 45 each and every night, and I'm ready to go. Not necessarily ready to eat a mayonnaise donut, but that's what's going to happen next. But then, you know what? I'll go hop back into bed, take a nap. You can do the same. Right now, proven quality sleep. It is indeed life-changing sleep, and it starts with Sleep Number adjustability. Don't miss Sleep Number's weekend special. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed plus special financing. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. This deal ends Monday. You got this weekend to get out and find a store. 2 to choose from. 1 in Irmo and Harbison Boulevard, across from Buffalo Wild Wings. The other in Columbia, 2 Notch Road, across from Sand Hills Mall. You can visit them on the web, sleepnumber.com. Right now, it is the weekend special. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed plus special financing, but it ends Monday. So go ahead, make the switch to Sleep Number today and find out what a great night of sleep is truly like. We are going to try the Mayo Donuts on the live stream. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click subscribe, join along, weigh in. Craig saying, I tried Cobra Kai, but Velveeta started coming out of my TV. And also Hope asking if I'm going to do one of each donut, Krispy Kreme and Dunkin'. Nope, we're going to choose one donut, and we'll go from there. You're listening to the early game on 1075 The Game. All right, let's
break them out.
Let's see here. All right, I'll actually probably eat it in the next break because I'll get it set up real quick, and then we can pick.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Kelly, this is going to be difficult to deal with callers.
Yeah,
Jerry's never run the board before.
Yeah, we apologize. Our number 3 is not going to be the best live streaming.
Yeah. I think you take that chocolate frosted one and just you put the mayo on until you can't see the chocolate.
That's the Krispy Kreme.
You could hear that train, Craig?
Do what?
Craig said train as well. I completely don't hear trains anymore. I've had trains next to my house my entire life.
And then there's the Dunkin'. So I think the 2 options here. I think you got the I think it's either the glazed. I think, Patrick, you're right. There's that one. Or, no, we're definitely going to do the Krispy Kreme because I'm looking at the size of the Dunkin' Donut ones, and they're huge. The cake donuts. All right, so we're going with the Krispy Kreme.
Regular glazed or chocolate frosted?
Patrick, if we come back, carry us.
All right. I should probably be paying attention.
All right. So what do we think? We saying original? Is that what the consensus is?
I think that's your call. It's got to be original or chocolate frosted.
Which one? Which one do I have to eat? Original or chocolate frosted? I'm going to go original. I think original is the way to go. Is that all right?
We're coming back. We can talk this out on the air.
All right. Well, I want to get into this Rams-Bucks game too.
Mm.
Never knew that eating a donut with mayonnaise this may ruin me for donuts. Done the show for 5 years, and this may be the end of my love affair
Would
with
that be a
donuts.
bad thing?
Yeah, it'd be a really bad thing, man. I enjoy a donut.
So like
I
when
also I've not been working out like I have in years past, and last night was the first time I really noticed. Speaking of Matt LeBlanc being fat, I noticed I was gaining some weight. Gotta stop.
so it's
to
like
that.
when dad catches you smoking a cigarette, it makes you smoke the whole pack. You get caught.
To ruin it. Yeah, this is
You gotta eat the
this is
mayo
the first
down
step in the direction of the. We'll I'll eat the donut. I'll eat the donut in the next break. We spent the last break there on the live stream, showing the donuts, previewing the donuts, breaking down the donuts. It was quite the live stream. We'll get into that. I'm opening the mayonnaise now, so we'll kind of spin this segment.
Troy,
I do
I
want to
think
get in.
Troy on the live stream lost a lot of money tailing one of Brian Edwards' picks.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Brian Edwards should have to eat it. He should have to eat the whole box.
Troy is not happy with Brian Edwards. Coming up at 8:20 this morning, Brian Edwards will join us. Chris Deering in about 25 minutes as well to talk about the high school weekend that'll be. I'm putting the mayonnaise on the donut, but Patrick, real quick, while I'm doing this here, this is disgusting. While I'm doing this, the reason I think that tomorrow, or excuse me, Sunday, 3 o'clock on Sunday, the Bucks and the Rams play. Here's my thing. I don't like Tampa's offense. You agree with me on that. They're missing a lot of people. Obviously, Antonio Brown's been cut. Chris Godwin is out. I don't know if Gronkowski can carry the load. Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, I believe, is expected back. In what capacity? It's hard to say. Do I have to put more mayonnaise on that, or is that are we?
I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. We'll keep working on that. That's going to happen enough because I don't want to gag on air for those of you who are listening.
That's what everyone wants.
This is far worse than that pizza thing I had to do. Jen said she might hop on the live stream too, but Patrick, I think that here's the part that I think the Rams win. I think the Rams offense is able to get the job done. I think the Rams win. But we've talked about it. The contracts that Tampa signed. What were they? They were the first team ever to bring back all 22 starters, right?
Yes.
They were the first team to bring back all 22 starters, but the contracts were short-term contracts. How many people will they lose this offseason? Like, it felt like everybody was brought back. We're cutting up, or I guess we're cutting up. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers and the last ride that he's making with Green Bay. But in a way, I feel like this is the last ride. I'm already getting indigestion just looking at this, by the way. If you hear me kind of like having hiccups and burps on air, I apologize. Just looking at it, I'm getting indigestion. But to go back to the Rams, to go back to Tampa, and why I think this is the end of Tom Brady, I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign everybody after this.
No, they're not going to re-sign everybody.
But who do you who do you re-sign that helps?
Well, people are going to take 1-year deals to play with Tom Brady, to chase Super Bowls. And as long as Tom Brady's there, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. So, I mean, they're going to lose Chris Godwin, probably. They're probably going to lose that wide receiver group. I mean, Mike Evans will return. He's locked up for a while, but Chris Godwin's on the franchise tag. I don't think he's going to take a team-friendly deal. He wants to get paid. He's ready to get paid. Obviously, Antonio Brown's gone. So they'll need to find a number two. How much longer is Gronk going to play? I'm not sure, but that offensive line is still young. Tristan Wirfs is their best offensive lineman. He's on a rookie deal. Leonard Fournette may walk. Who cares? They can find another running back. That's no big deal. Vita Vea is locked up. They locked him up this year. He's the most important piece. And Ndamukong Suh might be retiring soon. Okay. I mean, there's replaceable guys. Their secondary is all really young. Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield, Jamel Dean. They're all on rookie deals. I think Mike Edwards, like they're all young guys. So the team's not going to change all that much in 1 year. Chris Godwin will be the biggest missing piece, but I mean, you can replace production. Tom Brady's done it with a million different receivers his entire career. I think he's thrown touchdowns to 88 different people.
the only reason I think they don't fall apart or it doesn't come to a screeching halt is because I think we both agree the NFC is I should say top to bottom. The NFC is if we project Aaron Rodgers to leave Green Bay, we both agree that the NFC is the far weaker of the two of the NFC and the AFC, right? Like as I look for it, if you take Rodgers out of Green Bay, I tell you what, there's a lot of questions about the Cowboys right now. The Eagles are not challenging. Neither is your Washington football team. I do like the Vikings, but they're in transition. I don't think they're going to challenge. Again, you take Rodgers out of Green Bay, that changes the dynamics of them. Then you got the Packers. Then you got the Bears. They're not doing anything. The Saints are in rebuild mode. The Falcons are not there, and the Panthers stink. The Rams are the only Rams and Cardinals. The way the Cardinals got beat by the Rams last week, they look like a pretender and not a contender right now.
Yeah, the AFC will be much stronger. If Rodgers leaves and goes to the Broncos or I don't know where else he would go, yeah, the AFC will be much, much stronger. I mean, they'll be much top heavier. I mean, you could argue the Chiefs are the best team in football. You could argue the Bills are the best team in football. Right now, as it stands with these 4 teams in the playoffs, I don't think one conference is stronger than the other. I think every team in the playoffs right now could go to the Super Bowl, but maybe I don't know. Maybe the Bengals aren't ready, but other than that, everyone can go to the Super Bowl.
803-404-6100. That's how you can join us this morning. Coming up on the live stream, we've got the mayonnaise on the Krispy Kreme glazed donut. I will eat that. Patrick from the Cool Care Heating and Air text line, not the Patrick that is on the program, but Patrick on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line says, a slathering of mayonnaise is not an appropriate topping, to which I agree 110%. But that's part of the wager that we made last week that I did not win, that will now cost me a delicious donut, but it's going to have mayonnaise on it. We'll get to that when we come back. Do want to tell you, though, about zero rest. Why? Well, because you can keep your house clean. Let's be honest. I keep my house relatively clean. Got kids. They're dirty. They're always leaving crumbs on the floor. They get on the couch. All kinds of things happen around here. It's just a crazy. It's like Animal House over here. But I turned to zero rest. For $119, they'll clean 3 rooms in your house. And if you can say my name, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, you can get your hallway cleaned for free. Just $119. And when you say my name, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, Zero Rest will clean your hallway for free. Give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020. You can book online, ZeroRestColumbia.com is the way to do that. They use their patented ZR Water technology to keep your rugs, your tile, your upholstery insanely clean. It worked here at my house, although in a few minutes I think we're going to put that challenge to the test when I eat this donut, see how that goes. But ZR Water technology has kept my house insanely clean. They make it look as if I'm the cleanest person on the block. All the neighbors, the family, the friends, when they come in, they're like, hey, you're a pretty clean guy. And I thank them. I tell them about my secret. Zero Rest. Give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. Oh, this is going to be awful, Patrick. Hey, go to youtube.com, search 107.5 The Game, and you can click and subscribe and watch. It's a donut mayonnaise time next. You're listening to your own game on 107.5. Well, look who decided to show up. How do you guys feel if I cut it in half and eat one half and then the other half? Is that going to be acceptable?
But when you cut it in half, then dip it in so that the ends that weren't coated will now be coated.
You doing it?
Just a thought.
All right. I'll just eat it because that sounds worse. All right. Is that good?
It's fine.
Is it good?
Average.
I get a napkin.
It's not that. I know it's not that bad.
We need proof. He's not spitting it out, is he?
Yeah, he does need to drop that camera down. No brushing across the top of the donut either to wipe mayo off.
Exactly.
That is a disgusting taste.
That's a good thing.
Go look at Anish said it was actually not bad.
I'm laughing. It is. I don't like this. It's not good.
Really?
What you got left?
I don't understand how they did this, or what. What? How many bites did Golic take?
When you get to the last bite, you got to put a little on the end
Exactly.
where it's
I
broken.
agree.
Yeah. The last bite has to be the worst.
All right, I'll do it. That is awful.
And then you could do like a mayonnaise chaser.
I know that y'all find it funny, but I seriously
You would not rather jump in the lake right now.
no, but I am kind of like I might throw up, and I'm kind of I was laughing at first, but now I'm not.
Vanilla milkshake, nothing but a vanilla milkshake.
All right, I'll dunk. That's how much I've got left. I'll dunk the last two.
We did get a suggestion on the text line for you to heat it up. Yeah, good.
Patrick, you're gonna have to carry us.
We are back.
Uh-oh.
That about came back up. Oh yeah.
All right. If you get to the Buford Lending live stream right now, you do have a decent chance of seeing Bill throw up in the next couple minutes.
I got one bite left.
You can probably
I'm not
hear
even
him.
gonna put the headset on. I'm gonna.
I can hear him through the headset. His face is in his shirt right now. He ate did you eat the whole donut, Bill? Hold it up. No, he's got one bite of the donut left. I think Daniel nailed it on the comment section. Pat handled the mayo banana sandwich way better. Man up, Bill. Come on, finish it up. You gotta tell the people how it tasted before this hour's over.
Oh.
He's standing up, approaching the back door. I don't know if he can make himself throw up or not. I would love to see it though. Yeah, this is good stuff. Anyway, we have been going over the NFL slate. If we do want to talk a little sports before this hour ends, we talked Rams, Bucks a little bit. Bill says he likes the Rams. I don't know that I disagree with him. I do think it's going to be high scoring. I'm not sure that the Rams will be able to run the ball on the Bucks. However, I do think that the Rams will be able, or that the Bucks will be able to.
I got tears in my eyes.
Dude, put the headset on. We can all hear you. You're crying from mayonnaise?
I about gagged on the last two. I didn't about gag. I gagged on the last two. That's all. That was bad. I would have much rather gone. I know that's just a disgusting. I don't eat mayonnaise. Like, I don't. That was really bad. I'll drink the coffee now. Go ahead. Finish your.
That's a good morning.
I think the Rams are going to win too. I'm with you.
It's a good take. Thank you for really holding down the fort while I handled that. You really did a good job there. All right. We will not be doing any more mayonnaise challenges. I knew the banana. I'll be dead honest. I wouldn't have gotten
two is enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten through the
banana mayo sandwich.
I'm not 100% out of the woods right now. Oh, that was bad. Like I don't understand how people eat a whole lot of mayonnaise. I just
they don't do it. They don't. A sandwich with turkey and ham.
A little bit of mayonnaise.
Good with that.
Yeah. Jen has joined us on the live stream. Jen joined us on the live stream and enjoyed this thoroughly too much. Terry, you've missed a good time this morning. should have gotten you on the live stream. Terry back in studio there holding down the fort for us. All right.
The radio only audience is probably not enjoying this very much.
No, and it's totally understandable.
This
That's
is
why you got to
good.
join us.
Yeah, this is good advertisement for the live stream.
I would have much rather done the pizza again. I would have much rather done the pizza again from Brian's. Which again, when we live streamed that, the spicy piece that I got, we didn't live stream. The first piece I got was not bad when we went to Village Idiot and ate the pizza, but that was bad. That was not. It was a Krispy Kreme. It was a glazed donut, and I had put mayonnaise on top, and then Jen and Patrick got me to dunk the last two pieces in, and that's where it about got me, was when I dunked it, and then that taste is it's not good. So, well, we've got that out of the way, and I'm glad we got that out of the way, and I'm glad, I guess, I paid up for that. That was a really good time. So, NFL, Rams, Bucks. Yeah, I've given my point on the.
All right, good throw. Ultimately, the Rams have more superstars. When it comes clutch time, when it comes time for a big-time player to make a big-time play, the Rams have more of them. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. I think both defenses will be sliced up. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, but this is very difficult to do while Bill's about to throw up. Just keep talking about sports. But when it comes down to the last 2 minutes, or somebody needs to make a stop, Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in the game. Jalen Ramsey's probably a top 5 defensive player in the game. You know who's playing really well for the Rams is that rookie Ernest Jones out of South Carolina. I just trust that one of these superstars in the Rams defense will make a play when a play needs to be made. Although, do I trust Matt Stafford to not make a crucial turnover late in the game? Not necessarily. But, Bill, I am kind of with you. I think the Rams have the edge, and I actually think Sean McVay is a better coach than Bruce Arians, even though Bruce Arians just won the Super Bowl last year. I think Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown, too big of losses to overcome. No Leonard Fournette. I'm kind of with you on the Rams.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we close this thing out? Talk Chris Deering.
Let's move on from the mayonnaise challenges and come up with something different.
Somebody else take a video of you eating a mayo donut and just bodying it, please.
That was rough. Yeah, try it if you want to tease your kids with it.
Hour 3.
That was amazing.
That was bad. I mean, that really was a disgusting. A lot of mayonnaise like that. Patrick, if I would have had to eat that sandwich, I would have thrown up in the studio. Like, as much mayonnaise as you put on that sandwich and the banana and everything, I would have. So.
Well, we're not allowed to eat in there, so I don't think we're allowed to throw up in there either.
Do what?
We're not allowed to eat in there, so I'm assuming we're also not allowed to throw up in there. Just saying. That would have been against policy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not do that anymore. Let's move on let's figure out another challenge, and that will end my. I don't know if I don't.
Hey, Bill.
Good times.
Thought about fixing some runny eggs or something. How's that sound?
I'm gonna eat a meatloaf with some mayo tonight.
There you go. Yes, Craig, for exposure, I am. Honey bun and cheese.
You do need to be back at the top of the hour, though, Bill. I am not leading the high school basketball discussion.
Right.
Considering I don't know any of the high schools around here. Yes, RL, that picture. We're all very familiar with it in DC. I hate that it was getting national attention again the last couple of days, because that's all we hear it all the time. Offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, tight ends coach Sean McVay, wide receivers coach Matt LaFleur. Or no, quarterbacks coach Matt LaFleur. The wide receivers coach was Mike McDaniel, who's now the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, and everyone's in love with because he did the Mike Jones bit yesterday in the press conference. And he's probably going to be a head coach very soon as well. So pretty soon there's going to be 4 head coaches on one offensive staff. And we hired Jake Gruden. Yeah, Arl, that picture's a sore spot. Yeah, Sonny. It's devastating. We're all having meatloaf for dinner. Now that there's more people here, we're all having meatloaf to get dinner today. Tweet me your pictures of your meatloafs tonight. That wouldn't be a punishment, T. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can do oysters.
Mm-mm.
Oysters are good. I can do raw oysters. It's
I don't
just
think I could do
that
that.
taste that like when you spread mayonnaise on a sandwich,
Mhm.
it's not like the problem I had is those last two bites when you dunked it, there's like a clump of mayonnaise. You know what? Does that make sense? Like
That's the best part.
it's not like when you spread it, it's not lumped together.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. I really thought that last bite, I wasn't sure how far out to the lake I could get. That was bad. All right. Kristen. All right. So I apologize to all the live streamers now. We don't have a way to play. We're as you can see, we're all in globs of mayo. That's a good way to. But I apologize, live streamers. We don't have a way to play Chris Deering over the through the live stream, nor do we have a way to play Brian Edwards. I think that makes Troy happy.
Oh.
Because we don't have a way to do that.
It's not turning on the studio.
So I apologize to everybody. It's just a
my
glitch
fault.
today.
We're back. Hey, where can I get a good meatloaf besides Lizard sticking around here?
I'll make it for you.
Somebody on the live stream. I can make it. It's just a lot of effort. I had to go buy ground beef.
Okay. That's hard. I know.
The whole thing.
803-404-6100. I'm still kind of recovering. That really was. We were discussing on the Buford Lending live stream the donut mayonnaise challenge. We're talking some meatloaf. T said we should do raw oyster shooters for the next one. That both I think Patrick and I were completely on board with. Jen's on the live stream.
Yeah.
You can go and discuss with her this morning. Coming up here in about 5 minutes, we're going to catch up with Chris Deering from PrepRedZoneNetwork.com to get his thoughts on the weekend that has been. No games tonight across at least the Midlands because of the weather issues. So we will catch up with Chris Deering on the high school basketball scene from last night and get his thoughts on it. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll catch up with Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. If you're on the live stream, apologize. We will not be able to hear either of those this morning. So you actually have to use your radio. You'll have to go to the old school way of listening to hear Chris Deering and Brian Edwards. You have to actually use your radios. You won't be able to hear them on the live stream. But Patrick, just kind of wrapping up the thoughts on the morning. We'll get to the final game of the weekend, the Chiefs and the Bills here later this hour. But right now, both of us leaning. Actually, you're leaning Bengals. I'm taking Titans. We're both on the Packers. And it sounds like we're both at least taking the points with the Rams. I'm going straight up. I like the Rams money line, and it sounds like you're joining in.
Yeah, I definitely like the points. I'm back and forth. I think I do like the Rams, but I will go back and forth until kickoff between do I trust the Rams superstars to make a play or do I trust Matt Stafford to not make a mistake? Because Matt Stafford does have a knack for throwing interceptions at inopportune times.
You put anything in the cross-country game coming across the country, they're coming west to east, so the body clock thing shouldn't really matter, and it's a 3 o'clock game, but just anything to that?
No, nothing to that. I don't even know when they got to Tampa. I assume they have been there several days to adjust. I would hope.
Let's back up for a second because you talk about that. And I don't know the answer to this, when San Francisco has arrived in Green Bay, because in there, what do you think? And Jen, you're on the live stream, so I'll at least kind of turn it on so that I can hear your comment. But how long, Jen, when you go back home, and you can't hear Jen, so I'll repeat her comment on air real quick. But I'm just kind of curious, and I'll throw this out there as well. We've seen it; it's expected to be about 4 degrees in Green Bay and -2 with the wind chill. When you go somewhere cold like that, how long does it take to adjust to the weather? Jen, you go back to Chicago. I'll kind of listen and then repeat your answer on air. Is we're not able to get you on the radio, but how long do you think it takes?
To me, it takes several days.
Jen says several days. Patrick, you've gone back home. How long do you think adjustment for weather? Because if you're San Francisco, not that I mean these guys are professionals, and I get it. It's all part of the job. But when you go from San Francisco, and I don't know what the weather is in San Francisco right now, and then you go to Green Bay, it still has to be a drastic change. I don't know when. Do you have when San Francisco may have arrived?
I can check when they arrived. I'll go back and look on their social media, but I don't know why they would have even gone back to San Francisco at all unless they had obligations there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you don't just go from Dallas straight up to Wisconsin,
acclimate.
the whole week in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm looking. San Francisco, California right now is 50 degrees and feels like 49. Just when you talk about an acclimation period, because, again, last week New England goes to Buffalo. That's not a huge. You're used to, if you're playing for New England, you're accustomed to that. I know Buffalo was really, really cold, but at least you're used to the cold weather. If you're in San Francisco and you're going from 50 degrees to basically -2, -3, that's a huge jump. And Jen, who will go from here to go see her family in Chicago as she was last week, I mean that is quite the adjustment there.
They traveled yesterday, by the way.
So they leave on a Thursday, so they get there Thursday. So you've got 2 days to adjust, or one day to adjust. The game's tomorrow. One true
That's
day
brutal.
to adjust.
Yeah.
Patrick, do you think that's enough time?
I would want a padded practice in the cold. That's what I would want to do. But,
At
I mean,
least
you have to kind of worry about people getting sick too. I don't know how concerned they would be about that, but I would think that you go from playing in a dome, coming from California, you go throw everybody outside in Wisconsin on a Tuesday after your day off. Are they going to just get sick and be sick for the whole week and then just be healthy for Sunday and with no practice because you got them all colds?
I don't know. I don't know how you handle it. I guess that's where Kyle.
I mean, Lambeau's got a heated field. I'm pretty certain they've got a heated field. They'll have all sorts of heaters on the sideline. You're really only going to be experiencing the true cold when you're out on the field. And at that point, adrenaline, everything's going to be hitting you. I don't think it's actually as bad as we kind of make it out to be. We've discussed on the show. It's worse for the fans in the crowd because they don't get all those resources. But between the heated turf and the heaters on the sideline, and as soon as you come out of the game, there's somebody to throw a jacket on you, and you can go stand in front of the heater and keep your limbs loose and do your stretching and run in place and all that stuff. I think they will do a good job and do a good job of kind of shielding these guys from the elements as much as possible. You can't, as a quarterback, avoid the wind. That's impossible because it'll be whipping probably. But as far as just the pure cold and adjusting to the cold, I think they'll be relatively okay.
We'll continue talking about this, get into more of the playoffs, certainly get into that Chiefs-Bills game too, because I think that's actually going to be the best one of the weekend as we go through. But let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. It is time for the Corley Pools High School Headlines of the Week, and we are joined, as we always are on a Friday, by Chris Deering, who is getting the night off, and I guess that's good, but that means you worked last night, Chris. Dutch Fork in Lexington, I believe, is where you were at. Brett Jones, my former JV coach and a proud Lexington alum, knocks off our alma mater, 53-43. His son, Houston Jones, who's committed to Presbyterian College, has 19 points. Jarvis Green with 15. Pretty good game over there you got to watch last night. And also the girls' game last night, a matchup of two top 10 teams.
The game was actually closer than the final score indicated. Believe it or not, West Fork jumped out to a 19-2 lead, and we're still up by 18 at the half. But Lexington did get down to 3 in the second half and had a couple chances to tie it or get within 1. And then just right at the end, Houston Jones made some free throws and a couple turnovers turned into easy baskets and turned out to be a 10-point game. But really, really great game. Got two teams that I do believe come take
turned my headphones up. I wonder if anybody can. Let me know if you can somehow hear that.
Nearly all season. Robert Williams, great running back on the football team. He's going to Wake Forest this weekend for a visit. He's only played 4 games at this point. Antonio Williams plays about 8 or 9. Another football test player, Landon Sandy, has played about the same number. So those guys, they do a lot of transition from football to basketball. But now that they've got all their weapons, that Dutch Fork team can be really good and a real factor in the big playoffs.
Chris Derrick joining us as he does each and every week for the Corley Fools High School headlines of the week, sponsored by Corley Fools. Let's go back to that girls' game last night. Lexington has been playing very well. I think they are number 2 in the South Carolina Basketball Association. Top 10 there in 5A. Dutch Fork, I believe, was 6. Am I right on that? I was trying to pull back up the polls very quickly, and I think I'm correct. 3 and 6. Okay.
So very close, yeah. Great girls game too. You look at that Lexington team, and those girls have been together now really and truly for 3 years. Alexis Sexton is the senior. She's going to Francis Marion. She's really good. She's an all-state player. They sort of shut her down last night, but the Gardner girl underneath, she played very well. Had 19 points, I believe. And then I can't remember her first name, but Green was her last name. She sort of took over in the second half last night and dominated that game and never let Dutch Fork make a run. And so these Lexington girls, like I said, they played together for a long time. They get after it on defense. The Gardner girl 6'2" in the middle. Sexton's really good. So they got a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. You know, they got Sumter in the lower state. Somerville's pretty good. East Bay, but that's a good Lexington team that has a chance to go a long ways as well.
4A action last night, a thriller. The number 1 team in 4A, AC Flora, goes on the road, goes into Dreer, and it's Tyrell Green with a game winner to keep AC Flora alive there. Give me a little thoughts on AC Flora there. You got AC Flora 1, Irmo at 2, Hartsville at 3, Wilson at 4, and Travelers Rest is the top 5 there in the 4A boys. So 2 Midlands teams, AC Flora and Irmo, continuing to control the 4A section of the boys' top 10.
Yeah, last Friday night, AC Flora went on the road and beat Irmo 60-55. Colin Murray Boyles is again showing he's a big time prospect. He's only a junior. They on Monday at the MLC Bash put on by Kerry Rich, they played Ridgeview, and it was Colin Murray Boyles against G.G. Jackson, and that honestly that was not disappoint. Ridgeview did win that game, and then last night, like I said, they went on the road to Dreer. Ryan was right down the road from each other, and won in overtime. And my understanding, AC Flora got the ball in overtime and held it for the last shot, so they held it for the whole 4 minutes. And Tyrell Green came up with big on the last shot and made it. They defeat Dreer in overtime. That Dreer team, I saw them on Monday. Flying under the radar a little bit. That's a dangerous big team that can play a lot of people tough. Coach Caldwell's in his first year at Dreer. He's doing a fantastic job. That program is good. Nobody wants to see them, I'm telling you, come playoff time. They're probably going to be a 3 or 4 seed that can go on the road and actually win a first round game.
Other action around the Midlands last night, Dion Bethay keeping Gray Collegiate rolling there, 79-26 over Columbia. Great Collegiate, Chris, number 7 right now in the 2A boys, top 10 behind York Prep, Wade Hampton, Landrum, Philip Simmons, Christchurch, and Woodland. But looks like Great Collegiate setting up again for a run here when we get to late February.
Absolutely. Great Collegiate, they could be there whenever it ends. They are number 7. They have played a tough schedule. They've gone out of state, played a lot of teams, and they had to wait for some of their football guys to get back. So the record's not what it has been in the past, but I'll tell you, I did check York Prep team on Monday. They came down for the MLK Bash, played Irmo. Top-notch matched up Larry Davis, who we all know played in South Carolina. Is the coach at York Prep. His sons are on the entire game against Irmo, and then they played at the end to squeak out I think it was a win over Irmo on Monday. That was sort of a statement game for them. They wanted to come down and show that they could play with the best in the Midlands, and they were able to do that. So I sort of think in 2A, you got Great Collegiate and York Prep on the collision course to beat each other in the playoffs.
Jump over to 3A in the boys section. Brooklyn Casey last night, 69-41 over Fox Creek. Christian Ferguson with 21 points. Jamari Kennerly with 18. And BC number 6 right now in the 3A boys. Top 10, Orangeburg, Wilkinson, Seneca, Crestwood, Blue Ridge, and Union County, your top 5. There are your thoughts on BC.
Another really sneaky good team. Sort of flying under the radar. They were ranked, I think, 3 last week, but they fell to 6. They went over to Augusta, played the team on Monday, and one of their holiday bashes and lost by points. But this team's really good. They have a chance. They got good guard play. Like I said, they went last night. Fox Creek is in the top 10, and they defeated Fox Creek 69-41. And they have a big one next week over at BC. They play OW, who's the number 1 team, like you just mentioned in 3A. Brooklyn Case plays very well at home. You know, they got a brand new gym. They're very proud of it. They had a bunch of schools come in and practice at the gym. That's coming to play in Carolina. I think Florida practiced there a couple weeks ago. I know Duke, when the NCAA tournament was here, practiced in that gym. It's a really nice facility over there, and they got a team that can match it right now. That Brooklyn Case team is sneaky good. They've beaten Keenan earlier this year. That's a team that sort of flies under the radar as well. Keenan, I don't think anybody wants to see them come February. They've beaten Dutch Fork. They've beaten Lower Richland. So they've been challenged. This Brooklyn Case team has, and they are a team that I think, again, come February, I say it every year. If you can win a state championship, you have to beat a team from the Midlands, and that holds true again this year. You're not going to go to the playoffs and not have to beat one of these powerhouse teams here in the Midlands.
Last one here before we let you out. It is Chris Deering joining us as he does every Friday for the Corley Fools High School headlines of the week. A lot of basketball to talk about. So let's go to the 3A girls. The number 1 team there is Keenan. And you were talking about the Keenan boys, but the Keenan girls deserve a lot of attention as well. Again, as I just mentioned, number 1 in 3A. And last night, Chris, they knocked off Chester 85-25. Looks like they've got a pretty good ball club and another very strong Midlands team to talk about.
Absolutely. The Bullwally girl, we've talked about her now since she was in the 7th or 8th grade. I still think she's only a junior. She's one of the top players in the country. And honestly, she's probably, and I've seen Audrey Latta and all the names that come through here, Elena Coates and Asia Wilson, and I've seen them all on the high school level. Malaysia Bullwally might be the best girl basketball player I've seen. She's that good. She does everything. Whatever her team needs on a given night, she can do it. Last week she had a quadruple double. And you don't ever see that in high school basketball. She was able to do it. And then I saw at the box score last night, there's another Bullwally on the roster. And I think she scored 20. So Keenan is the team to beat 3A. I mean, the 3A girls, there's no question about it. Is the last few years, the only team to be been able to do it in the playoffs has been Bishop England, and they're not ranked this year, so they must be having a down year down there in the Low Country. I just don't see anybody beating this team in basketball team.
He is Chris Deering. Make sure you check out his work, PrepRedZoneNetwork.com. Chris, tell me a little bit about the website real quick. You guys are doing a lot of great work, putting out a lot of content right now, and where people can go and check it out, how they can subscribe.
Yeah, we've been really good on that website this week and this month, actually. We've posted over 30, probably 35, 36 stories this month, all about football, all about recruiting. We just ranked for the first time the class of 2025 players and here locally. Will Wilson, that quarterback over at Richmond Northeast, he was our number 1 player in the state for that class. Obviously, a long way to go on ranking those guys, but we will continue to evaluate and look at film and keep plugging those guys along. You'll see a lot of content coming up over the weekend and early next week about that class of 2025. And after that, don't want to put it out there just yet. Got a couple things planned that maybe we can talk about next Friday. But the website is, I feel confident that if you subscribe, you'll get your money's worth. We got guys, like I said, we talked about this before. Ian Garrett, Jed Blackwell, Brandon Stockdale. Those guys, you mentioned those names across the state, and everybody knows who they are, and they're well respected in what they do. Again, you won't get football content like this anywhere else in January. So if you're a big football fan and a recruit fan, I think our site is well worth the visit. That's PrepRedZoneSC.com.
PrepRedZoneSC.com. Chris, we always appreciate your time. Stay warm, and if you do make some snow angels this weekend, if it does snow at some point, make sure you put out some pictures on Twitter. We all love to see that.
But here's the thing: I'm just glad you made it to this segment, Bill, because after eating that donut, I really didn't think you would. Very proud of you. That's the way to power be.
36 more minutes of this program, and then I'm dead honest. I don't feel it right now. That was awful. So yeah, thank you. I'm powering through. Chris. We always do. Have a good weekend, buddy. We look forward to catching up with you next weekend.
Sounds great. Y'all guys have a great weekend.
Chris Deering. Follow him on Twitter at cdeering82. Make sure you check out. He is also called No Game Tonight. It was last night, Dutch Fork and Lexington, but you can always hear him and Stacey Huff on the Watch Fox 57 game of the week. They were called on the call last night for Lexington, Dutch Fork, the girls and the boys games there over at Dutch Fork.
Powering through.
All right, Bill. So that worked. I put the volume all the way up on my headphones and just set them in front of my speaker.
Awesome.
And
That was good.
Bill,
Can he not hear?
Bill.
Yeah, I don't feel good, as you can tell. And thank you for that. I was talking, but I guess y'all couldn't hear me because my mic was muted. But yeah, I don't feel good at all right now. It's not sitting well.
Did you hear me though?
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, if you want to, I don't know if you're able to kind of take it on all, like to ask. Just let me know when you're gonna ask a question.
I mean, if you just go through.
Uh-oh.
If I think of
you froze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
If you just ask him about all the games, that'll probably cover everything. It'll be fine.
Just raise your hand. Just if you want to. You'll be here, and if you just let me know. Just point at me.
Yeah.
You need to be part of it too. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not sitting well. How did you feel after you like mayonnaise more than I do?
Yeah, I mean, I like mayo on mayo things. I will always have mayo on a sandwich. Deli sandwich or whatever.
But it shouldn't make you sick. It's not like it was botulism mayonnaise or something.
Well, it was.
No.
It was just the taste, like those last two bites where you're like, dip it in. Like, and then like that's the first thing that hits your tongue.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that warmed my heart the most.
I like the pizza challenge, the pizza thing we did a lot better. I can deal with that. I can deal with hot stuff. It's just a bad that was a bad texture, and there was a yuckiness to it to go along with the sweetness, which didn't make it better. No Gamecock recruiting news to pass along.
I don't know what else we could do.
What you mean?
The payoffs.
Oh, we'll get to it. All right, if you want to do that, if you just hear something, if you hear something and you want to bring something up,
Oh yeah,
Point
I'll
at
point at you if I want.
I'm gonna keep right here.
I would do it, but there'd be too much of a delay.
Drink some ginger ale. It'll settle your stomach. This is from Chuck on the live stream. I appreciate that. I really don't feel good. On the live stream, Patrick saying, I don't know what else we can do for challenge for payoff bets. I can tell you what we won't be doing is any more mayonnaise. I'm not running the risk of losing that one anymore. So if you missed that, you can go back and check it out on the YouTube page. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game. You can subscribe, like, join in the conversation. LeVar, Rick, Chuck, Decor, Artia, who says she woke up late and missed the whole thing. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Cyburn on there, Josh, a whole bunch of people. You can go in. It's our own little private chat room. You can go in. We've been discussing meatloaf recipes, chili. Ozark has been a discussion in there this morning. You can go and be a part of that as well. 803-404-6100. You can send in a text message if you got a question for Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com and MajorWager.com. He's the senior handicapper. And Brian, welcome in to the program as we get ready for what I think just overall, Patrick and I have been discussing it all morning. Should be a really fun weekend of NFL playoff games. I don't know if I get into the playoffs quite like everybody else, but I've really done it this year. And, let's just start with Bengals Titans. And before you give a pick, if you've got a pick, I forget I don't have your picks in front of me, but just your overall thoughts on the game.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. But before we do that, Gunner, what did you have? The Gators that Williams Bryce have to put mayonnaise on a donut? What bet you lose, brother?
I went against. I don't have your picks from last weekend, but I know I went against you a little bit. Patrick went 4-2. We picked the wild card games last week. I went 4-2. Yeah, Patrick actually went 4-2. I went 3-3, and he got me by game. The deciding game, I had the 49ers. Excuse me, I had the Cowboys. He had the 49ers. He actually just run it on in for a touchdown, and that is not what happened. Instead, he slid. And of course, the field goal wouldn't have saved me. But yeah, we picked the spreads on those, and I can't remember exactly what I went against you on there. But I went 3-3. Patrick is Patrick's won both of our picks contest. He won we've done 3. He won the season picks contest. I had to eat an extremely spicy pizza. I won the bowl pick'em. He had to eat a banana and mayonnaise sandwich, and then I lost this one. So it's So it's I'm 1-2 right now in our picks, our competitions.
I was able to get it at 3. That's long gone. I got that on Monday early, and it's 3.5 now. Most books, might make you 5.5 points to be number 3. They might make you pay like 140 or something like that. That's too much. But if you can get it down to 3, it only find it for minus 120 to minus 130. I recommend doing so. If it's more expensive than that, don't sweat it, and still go with the Titans. 7-2 straight up, 6-3 gets the spread at home. Now look, I don't go against Joe Burrow very often. Him and Jamar Chase make the Bengals very dangerous. There's no doubt about that. But the Raiders outplayed them last week. That was one of my losers. The Raiders out-yarded them 385 to 300, had a 23-18 advantage at first down, so they just had all the sustained drives and had to settle for field goals. But what happened to the Bengals that I think can play a role this week is they got really banged up on the defensive line. 4 guys got hurt. 2 of their backup defensive tackles are questionable. Trey Henderson is questionable. He had a sack and forced fumble there in the first half. He was still in the first quarter. That set him up for a field goal last week. He had 14 sacks. The regular season. He got a concussion and left the game, but he has been participating in practice, and it sounds like he's got a pretty good chance to play. But the other starter at defensive tackle, Larry Ojinobi, he had 7 sacks in the regular season. He recovered that fumble that Hendrickson forced last week. He's out for the rest of the season with an injury from last week. And look, I don't think we're going to get a vintage Derrick Henry, 25 to 30 toes in the game. I'm sure they'll have him on a pitch count, so to speak. I'll doubt he'll get more than 12 to 15 touches, but just his return, I think, will be a big lift for them. And with the way Julio is these days, the extra week off helped him. And even A.J. Brown, who missed a month or so, now I know he was back in the last 3 regular season games and played good. I mean, the week off probably helped him as well. So the Titans at home, I got to go with them. I mean, Burrow makes it where they're not the same old Bengals, but it's late January. They still are the Bengals. So go with the Titans.
He is Brian Edwards with VegasInsider.com, senior handicapper there. And you can follow him on MajorWager.com is the way to check out all of his work. Again, VegasInsider.com, where he is senior handicapper, or make MajorWager.com part of your daily reading. Let's go on. You don't have a pick for the 49ers-Packers game, but just your thoughts, cold weather, your thoughts on that game, just overall.
Gun to my head, if I had to pick it, I'd probably go Packers. But I don't have to pick it. Now, if you like teasers or money line parlays, I think Green Bay's a great tease team, but I just don't have another team to tease it with. When I do teasers, I like to do favorites at home between 6 and 8.5 points, bump them down to either a pick 'em or 2.5 or fewer, where you win my field goal. And I don't really if we'll get to the Bucs game, I'm on them. I'm staying away from the side on Buffalo KC. Tennessee is 3.5. I just don't need teams at 3.5 to make them, plus 2.5. I just don't like doing that. So, but if any of your listeners have another team they like to tease, I think you include Green Bay in a teaser for a money line parlay. I do think they win. And again, if I had to pick it, I would go Green Bay. Cold weather conditions, that obviously that favors the Pack, but that's about all I got on that one.
Again, he's Brian Edwards, VegasInsider.com, senior handicapper, and you can check out his work, MajorWager.com as well. Let's go on to that Bucks Rams game. Patrick and I both like the Rams. We're on the side of the Rams. We're going with the offense. We're taking Matthew Stafford. I think you're on the other side. What you got for us?
Yeah, well, look, Christian Wirf's injury at the right tackle position is a big deal. Don't think they've ruled him out yet, but I do a podcast with TJ Reed, their sideline reporter, the Bucs it is, and he told me he doesn't think he's going to play. I do think they're going to get a lift from Fournette's return, though, and I think you can kind of scheme the Rams having a great pass rush in your O-line, not necessarily full strength. I think you can do some play calling where Brady's not going to be a statue back in the pocket, hanging out for too long, quick throws, and utilize some tight ends. He's got 2 really good ones, O.J. Howard and Gronk. I'm all over the Bucs. That's my favorite pick of the weekend. Now, the Rams did look great last week, no question, but that was at home. No DeAndre Hopkins. Arizona bring up in against the spread in its last 5 in the regular season, and it's a short week. They play Monday night. This is Sunday, so it's a short week. Travel across the country. Tampa Bay 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread at home. Look, the Rams definitely look good last week, and Odell Beckham, what a career revival. But man, I trust Tom Brady, and Bucs being at home, short week for the Rams. And I'm going to have a touch of Tampa Bay in the first half as well, which I saw as low as -1 at some books.
He's Brian Edwards with VegasInsider.com. So Patrick and I will discuss that in the next segment. Some interesting thoughts there. Let's get to the final game of the week, the one that
guys, remember now, y'all's picks were better than mine last week. So don't let me talk you out of what you want to do.
Well, as a person who's just counting down the minutes to the end of the show so I can die on my couch from a mayonnaise donut, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. But what do you think? Chiefs, Bills, certainly a game that I think is going to be fun, entertaining. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Bills looked fantastic last week, just absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we saw what the offense did. What do you make of this game?
I think both teams look terrific, and I don't want to put my wallet in front of either one of them. I'm not going to go against Buffalo or Kansas City. I think it's a coin flip game. I think it's going to be a great game. I think you sit back and enjoy. I am going to play the over, though. I know it's a skinny total in the NFL. The mid-50s is a high one, and, you get a couple sustained drives and end up a field goal attempt. You could be in trouble quick. But the over has hit it 6 straight for Kansas City. Now, only 4 of those 6 would have gone over 54. There were still 53 and a half out there late last night, but only 4 of the 6 the overs in a row went over that. But those combined scores were 63, 65, 62, and 57. When these teams met the regular season, Buffalo won 38-20 for 58 combined. And KC's offense is in peak form. Last 6 games, they scored 48, 34, 36, 31, 28, and 42. And Buffalo's off that 47-point outburst. I don't even think they punted last week, if I'm not mistaken. And that was against the New England defense that in 17 games had only allowed 28 or more 4 times. So very impressive. And obviously against a Bill Belichick defensive game plan in the playoffs, I mean, that's just unheard of what they did offensively last week. I know it's going to be cold, but wind's not going to be a factor. And, I don't think the weather is going to be a big deal in terms of us getting points. So I'm going to go the over and just sit back and enjoy what should be a barn burner and what I think is a point flip game on the side.
He is Brian Edwards with VegasInsider.com. Make sure you check out his work there where he's the senior handicapper. You can also check out his work on MajorWager.com as well. Before we let you go, let's get one hot take here. Scott, our resident Michigan State Spartan fan, they've got a big one tonight in Madison. They are 14th ranked, traveling to 8th ranked Wisconsin tonight. 9 p.m. FS1 is the television to check that out. You've got to play on that one. Wisconsin versus Michigan State. What are you going with?
Well, I played Wisconsin -4 last night, and woke up this morning. I saw there was 3.5 out there. Sorry to your guy that emailed in. I mean, that's just my opinion. I know Michigan State off a tough loss at home to Northwestern, and they have been on fire before that. I think they've won 9 in a row. But Wisconsin has won 7 straight. They've covered 5 straight. Including wins at Purdue, at Northwestern, at Maryland. I've been on them their last 3 covers, so they're going to have to buck me off, especially at home. Love how Johnny Davis is playing. And oddly, Greg Gard and Wisconsin are usually a grinded-out, defensive-minded team. They're actually scoring a lot more this year. They've actually, along with this 7-game winning streak, they've also hit 7 overs in a row. I'm not playing the total, but I'll be on the Badgers tonight at home as a 3.5-point favorite.
Appreciate your time as always. Good luck to you this weekend, and we will catch up with you next week for any basketball as well as championship weekend in the NFL, buddy. If it's a bad weekend last weekend, we know you're going to bounce back this week, right? Got to stay in there.
Thanks, fellas. And hey, if South Carolina, I think they might even be double digits tomorrow, but Georgia is so bad. I've been fading the heck out of them. If South Carolina is like -7 or fewer, I know the Gamecocks are struggling too, but they're not struggling as bad as Georgia. I'd get on the Gamecocks if they're 7 or less tomorrow. Fellas, y'all have a great weekend. Thanks.
You too. He's Brian Edwards from VegasInsider.com. We'll come back. We'll get Patrick's take on all of that, what he thinks. And
All right, so still one more break to get to, right? Bill, you're muted.
What'd you say?
Still one more break to get to.
Yeah. These are short because we're doing 3. It is nasty there. But yeah, but anything you want to respond to that you heard him talk about there, let me know here, and you kind of just take it and run with it.
No, we haven't got to Chiefs Bills yet though.
Yeah, okay. So we'll go to that. And what did he like the over in that? He was in on the over. Ugh.
Did you guys see that Meatloaf died?
Yeah, that's what they got into a discussion earlier about. They're all eating meatloaf tonight in honor.
Okay, sorry I missed it.
Apparently, we had a couple people who said smoked meatloaf is the best.
If you brown it like in an electric skillet so that the edges are crispy, it's really good. Let's talk about runny eggs right now, Bill. Okay? Sushi? No? Nothing?
I don't like that. Just messed with my stomach. Like I kind of, if I think too much about it, runny eggs doesn't bother me, but meatloaf just. I think I had a bad experience when I was little or something. Just not a tasty dish.
Got to be seasoned right because it can be pretty ugly pretty fast.
Jim, no, we never got in. I apologize. We've been more NFL playoff oriented today, but Patrick, I think we both agree the basketball program is just the facilities are average, the pay is average. Honestly, the fan base, for as good as the fan base is for football, it's not good for basketball. It's just, what was it? Somebody sent in yesterday. It's 12th in the SEC. And Patrick, if you're 12th in the SEC, that puts you about 100. Like you said, it's just not a basketball centric school for 50 years. Will just do that, I guess. But Jen, you missed some good episodes of Stump the Dave yesterday. Dave learned what it's like to get up early and try and handle the early crowd.
Should have been paying attention.
We got some good Heath Klein jokes in, making fun of him.
Nice.
Just a good time all the way around.
But I know you missed me terribly.
I missed both of you. I didn't know how I was going to make it through the morning.
I thought so.
But with the help of the live stream family, I did.
Absolutely. They're probably more solid than we are.
They were. They didn't seem all that concerned about y'all. They seemed just happy to have me.
Is that what it was?
Me, all the It was like a child who gets all of one parent's attention.
They're probably just more worried about you having a temper tantrum.
803-404-6100. Chiefs Bills this weekend. We'll talk about that here in a second. Want to remind you, New Year's resolutions, they're important. They are important, and one of them should be having a healthy life in 2022. If you've been suffering from some issues with muscles, ligaments, tissues, if you've got inflammation, you got problems with your ankles, your toes, your knees, your fingers, it's time to call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. All consultations are free. QC Kinetics, the reason to use them, because they do it without surgery. No steroids, no addictive pain medications. It is regenerative medicine that will help get you back on your feet in 2022, living the lifestyle you want to lead. You can be like Patrick Mahomes in the backyard, running around, throwing the football, beating up on the kids. You get the point. Call QC Kinetics. If you've been dealing with inflammation in your muscles and your ligaments, if you've had problems with your knees, your toes, your shoulders, problems with your back, you need to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation today, 803-281-6860. Patrick, this is the game that I think is going to be the best. The Chiefs offense is really fun to watch. The Bills defense is really good, and Josh Allen is playing out of his mind. I think 308 passing yards last week. I've talked about it. My buddy Jeff Berge, who is head of the Buffalo Bills fan club around here. Again, he is probably not even working today. He's probably just already started tailgating for Sunday at 6. But I'm pulling for the Bills to win. I really want to see the Bills. I'm kind of joining in on this Bills thing here, and I'm pulling for them to win. Can you go into Arrowhead late game? It's going to be cold. Pull it out.
See, I've been going back and forth in my head the question of if both teams play their best game, who wins? And I think it's Kansas City, and probably you just take the home field in that case. But it really is a great matchup. I mean, it's probably going to come down to which quarterback doesn't turn the ball over. You arguably got the two most talented, pure talent. These guys can both make ridiculous throws. Their arms are so strong, probably the two strongest arms in the league. But I just feel like Josh Allen's legs are going to be able to make the difference in the biggest moments. He's been more efficient than ever in his career running the ball, and I think they're trusting Devin Singletary right now. If they can just get a little bit of a run game going, I think they can pull this thing out. And unfortunately, Travis White, one of the best corners in the league, tore his ACL, so they don't have him. Nobody really can contain Hill and Kelsey. They're going to have to pick which one of them is going to beat them, or they're going to let beat them. I think Kelsey probably has a big game because Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are probably the best safety duo in the NFL, and they will most likely just be playing deep and covering everything, never letting Tyreek Hill get behind them, and you're going to rely on Tremaine Edmonds. Terrell's his brother on the Steelers. Tremaine Edmonds to patrol the middle of the field and cover Travis Kelsey. It's not really going to work, but death by 1,000 cuts is better than just letting Tyreek Hill run alone in your secondary. So I think they're going to probably have to turn Mahomes over a couple times. Josh Allen's going to have to make some big plays running the football, moving the chains. But I feel pretty confident in the Bills' chances.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm not saying that the Chiefs offense is bad. What I am saying is at times it will bog down just a little bit. You saw it kind of there in the first, about 18 minutes against the Steelers. I think it was about that time. I think it was 7-0 at the end of the first period, and then they got in the second, and then the Chiefs took over and just annihilated the Steelers. But you saw it early on kind of bog down just a little bit. This is a game where actually you've got another team, another quarterback that can kind of go toe-to-toe with you. Mahomes, 4th in the league in yardage this year. Josh Allen, not much further behind. He was 8th in the league in yardage this year, just 400 yards behind Patrick Mahomes in terms of total pass yardage when you talk about the two. Mahomes this year, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Hey, Josh Allen, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. And Patrick, the battle of the quarterbacks, the young quarterbacks, we don't have enough time to get into it. But I guess the only thing missing from Josh Allen here is a Super Bowl like Mahomes has. But if you're starting a franchise and you've got to choose between the two, is it a definite you're taking Mahomes?
It's a discussion. I mean, it might be a definite because he's already proven. I mean, he's already had the greatest start of all time. He's on a pace to be the greatest quarterback of all time. But Josh Allen's tools are so ridiculous. He's so big. He's so strong. He can throw the ball so hard. I mean, he made it look like it wasn't even windy last week. And he can do things as a runner that Patrick Mahomes cannot. I think you obviously have to go with Patrick Mahomes right now. But the trajectory that Josh Allen is building towards, if he can just keep improving and stop turning the ball over, then he will make himself the most invaluable quarterback in the league.
803-404-6100. The other part of that, you kind of mentioned, you were talking about the wide receivers for what you talking about, Kelsey and obviously Tyreek Hill. But Stephon Diggs has been playing really well for Buffalo as well. And that's a guy that I think you look at. He's going to have a big game and a big player too. Well,
it's a little bit different, the receiving corps, because it's boom or bust with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Those are the two guys. If you can shut down both of them, you're easily going to win the game. But the Bills have a little bit more diverse of a weaponry there because Cole Beasley is really, really good as a slot receiver. Maybe the best pure slot in the game. I guess Cooper Kupp probably took that title this year, but he's up there. Emmanuel Sanders is a route technician that can win at all the short to intermediate levels. Stephon Diggs is maybe I don't know if he's a top 5 receiver, but he's fringe. He's a top 10 guy, and he can beat you deep. He can beat you literally anywhere. So if they spend all their attention on Stephon Diggs, I actually do have some confidence in Emmanuel Sanders, who's played in the Super Bowl before, and Cole Beasley winning underneath. Dawson Knox is a pretty good tight end too for them. He's a good athlete, but I have a little bit of confidence in their secondary weapons being able to win their matchups.
803-404-6100. We will wrap up this episode, the Friday edition, what will forever be known as the mayonnaise and donut edition of the early game. It was awful. It was disgusting. I'm ready to end the program and go lay on my couch, which is about 15 feet away. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
All right. That's pretty much a show right there.
That is it. Pretty much, yeah. Now we just await the weather.
Right.
Jen, how windy is it at your house?
Open the door, heaven forbid. It's a bit breezy.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can never tell because out here behind me, like the wind is always far worse here because of open and water and all that. But I mean, I don't know if y'all can see this one boat. I don't know how well you can see that boat right there. It is rocking. It was just rocking real bad.
Oops. There's one dog.
Oh, more puppy dogs on the live stream.
There's another one.
Oh, more puppy dogs. Look at that.
What do you guys think? Have to go find the one that's ready for the winter.
Oh, a tour of Jen's floor. Look at that. Beautiful.
I know, isn't that nice? Yeah, I'm cleaning out some closets, so the rest of the house isn't so great.
Very, very nice.
There's Piper. Say hey. You say hey? I know. So she's ready for winter. Yeah. Aren't you?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me come back. What do we got? She in a blanket? Oh, the husky.
Yeah, Husky. She's ready for tonight.
Yeah, she's happy about this.
Exactly. All right, guys. Where do I go? Probably looking at them is better.
Patrick, how's old Polly doing?
She's doing good.
Yeah, how's
I'll
Molly?
I'll see her next weekend.
Good.
You leaving Friday morning?
Yeah.
What's the temp? I don't know.
Craig, get your dog a wife. Or get your dog a wife. Get your
I
wife
have
a
3
dog.
to choose from.
Do what?
I have 3 to choose from. Looks like it's
Oh,
34
you are giving
right
away
now.
your puppy dogs. You love them.
No. Yeah, it's 34. Oh, that'd be fun. I like that RL.
That's yes. Yep. That's what we need. Early game pets.
Yeah. I need better lighting. I never get to be at home during the show, so
How you feel about it, huh? It's different.
I have no buttons to push. Except yours.
Final minute and a half here of the Friday episode. Maybe you got big plans this weekend. Big road trip in the snow. Who knows? Whatever it is, you need to get out to Love Chevrolet. Go visit them. Let them show you why they are still the best in the business. 60 years helping folks like you find a great vehicle. Largest selection, $1,000 low price guarantee. Not adding those extra add-ons to the sticker price that shock you when you arrive and go looking for a new vehicle. Go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Let that great sales staff take care of you. Find that new vehicle that you've been looking for. Go visit Love Chevrolet and find new roads. Patrick, final thoughts on the weekend that will be. Who are your 4 picks here? What are we going with?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. I'm saying Titans versus Bills and Packers versus Rams. I'm going to go Packers versus Rams.
I never get what I want. I never get what I want, except wanting to win the NASCAR Pick'em contest, in which I win every year. But the bottom line is, I want to see the Bills win the game, Patrick. I want to see the Bills and the Titans. I want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl. I'm starting to go with my man Jeff Berge. I want to see the Bills as Super Bowl champs. But I think going on the road to Kansas City is too tough. I got Kansas City winning. I'm going to differ from you there. I just think on the road in Arrowhead it's going to be too difficult.
It'll be tough. I want to see neither of the Super Bowl finalists last year in the conference championships.
I'm with you with that. I'm with you on that. Chiefs. I got Chiefs, Titans. I got Rams and Packers. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Aaron Rodgers can't find a way to get it done. It's been a Friday episode. Mayonnaise, donuts, NFL football, puppy dogs on the live stream, and Ozark. Yeah, good weekend. Y'all take care. Thanks to Terry Ford for running the board. Patrick, hope you feel better. Jen will be back next week as well. Have a great weekend. It's been the early game. 107.5 The Game.
Nailed it.
I want to take the Bills, Patrick. I feel like the Chiefs are going to do it. Yeah, we can go lay down. Yeah, that's it. All right, buddy. Anything you need, let me know, okay? You too. Take care.
See you guys.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the help. It won't work out. Yeah. You too. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Stay warm and play in the snow, hopefully, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. See you guys.